not get a chance to. But Jack and Edwin are the ones that's like doing that.
Yeah, we're hoping to do some more recording sessions soon. A little bit of a powwow break, but we'll get back at it.
You're gonna have to, because like it's just season 2 has just been after hours and whatnot. We're gonna get back to it. We're gonna get back to it. But anyways, welcome everybody to the 950 Club Wrestling Podcast Takeover, I suppose we can call it. I'm here. Jack is here. Josh is here. And we're going to pick up where we left off last time. We're missing Dave this time, but I'm sure he'll be back. So the last time we left off was after WrestleMania. So we're back. We have a lot to catch up on. So we're going to go 10 topics here. We're going to start with the reviews of the pay-per-views, and then we're going to get to previews, and we're going to take it from there. So the first review we're going to do is the most recent one, which is Money in the Bank 2023. And just to go over the card again, so everybody is fresh in everybody's mind. We have the men's Money in the Bank with Damian Priest winning. We had Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez beating Shayna Baszler and Ronda Rousey for the Nobody Cares Women's Tag Team Championship.
Oh yeah,
with Shayna turning on Ronda.
Yes.
He simply turned her baby face, but moving on.
No.
Shayna's still awesome. Turned her baby face.
Oh no. Shayna's a baby face. If you turn on Ronda Rousey, nobody is booing anybody that's beating up Ronda Rousey. She's a baby face. She's definitely a baby face. Gunther defeated Matt Riddle by submission. Cody Rhodes defeated Rey Mysterio.
Rey Mysterio?
Oh, no. Dominic Mysterio. I'm sorry. Heat Magnet Dominic Mysterio.
Dirty Dime.
Io Sky won the women's Money in the Bank match. Seth Rollins defeated Finn Balor. And in the Bloodline Civil War, the Usos defeated Roman and Solo with Jey Uso with a surprise pin.
No, you got to get that right. Main event, Jey Uso.
I'm sorry. Main event, Jey Uso.
I'm not going to get stacked, yo.
Main event, Jey Uso. So, let's start off with thoughts. Let's start off with Josh. What do you think of the review?
All right, I thought it was a solid show. Is it something that you have to like go out of your way and see? Anything outside of the last match? No, but I thought it was a good, enjoyable show. The only thing I will say is, I think me personally, I think the Money in the Bank is an outdated concept. It's just, to me, there are no, like, they've done every type of Money in the Bank cash in that you can do. So it's to the point where now I don't really get excited for the Money in the Bank winners anymore. Like, I know a lot of people, they were disappointed that LA Knight didn't win it and stuff like that, but
I was one of them.
Yeah, and it's cool and everything, but if my thing is like, okay, if he wins Money in the Bank, are you gonna take a guy that you weren't literally doing nothing with, and then all of a sudden he gets a crowd reaction and he's gonna be a world champion now, just like that? Like, I don't. I think it needs to be more of a gradual build. Like maybe him beating someone like Gunther for the IC title, somebody that's been dominant and taking over everything. Have a little run with the IC title, then get to that world title. Not just okay, we've been doing nothing with you, but you're getting great crowd reaction, so we're just gonna put the money back on you, and then you're the world champion just like that in like 3-4 months. It's like, I don't know, it's kind of setting up for his failure because then he's gonna get to this high, and then if he doesn't get great booking, he's gonna just fall right back down. So I don't know. I just think that I think they need to just get rid of the Money in the Bank. Period. That's just me personally. There have been no great women's cash-ins. All the women's cash-ins have just been. So, the show overall was a good, solid show. I give it like I say like B-, but I'm just thinking. To me, the Money in the Bank concept is outdated. Personally, that's my thoughts.
Jack.
For me, I don't think the concept's outdated. I think the booking is outdated. Like they should just use it not every like year. I would say every 15 to 16 months, maybe every other draft range if they still want to do the draft. Still a loose concept in my book, but the ones that won, you feel like they should have won the match prior, like Damian Priest when he lost to Bad Bunny. And I'm feeling like, okay, this is his comeuppance. They liked what he did, and this is his push because of what he lost. And with Io Sky, with Dakota Kai being hurt and Bailey, doing her own thing, they needed that push. So the winners, I think, were sound. I predicted Logan Paul to win the Money in the Bank, mainly because I feel like because of how Money in the Bank is booked, you can have him like sit out for the next 6 months and have him cash in against Seth Rollins at WrestleMania. If they want to push Seth Rollins up till that point with the championship, because they got 2 champions now. So, and like I agree with Josh in the fact that they did pretty much every cash in you could think of. My thing is that it's still sound. It's still good. Will reward you later. They just have to find out the details a little bit. Like forget how Otis lost. Forget how Austin Theory cashed in for the U.S. Championship, because it makes it kind of like, okay, you're going for the top price no matter what you're thinking. And if you're cashing in against Gunther, for example, you're nuts. You have to beat him fair and square. It's one of those things where if you want to get greedy, you go get greedy for the big one.
Yeah, I think Money in the Bank, you can make the argument that it's a little played out, and I wouldn't disagree with you, but I also think it's something that the fans have come to expect and look forward to, and they have their big 4 pay-per-views. Money in the Bank is right behind it.
It should be 4. I agree.
Behind it.
Yeah.
It's number 5. Like, the fans would lose their minds if they didn't have it. I've always thought that Money in the Bank was a good launching pad for a heel, and the Royal Rumble was for babyfaces to win. So, having Io and Damian win, I mean, I guess they're both technically heels now, but we all see that they're both going to turn face relatively soon.
Yeah, and Backlash as well. Io Sky had an excellent match, and they see the promise, or at least in the main roster's eyes.
I can see her cash in a little more than I see Damian Priest cash in, mostly because her and Asuka already have this built-in rivalry.
Yeah,
so I can definitely see her cashing in on Asuka and winning.
Yeah, and that'll easily be like SummerSlam or something.
I can see her doing it before SummerSlam.
Yeah.
Because in SummerSlam they're going to have that threat match.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
there is going to be Bianca, Charlotte, and either Io or Asuka, whoever's the champ. And it works either way. Asuka never gets a long reign, really. She always loses to Charlotte at some point. So
yeah, I know.
it'll happen again. But you can run back Io. You can put Io in that spot. You can put her in that spot because her and Bianca did have a great match. So
Io versus Charlotte, that's tempting because both have gorgeous backflips. I prefer Io's, and that'll be like good. Like whoever wins will win with the backflip.
yeah, okay, yeah. Ban the backflip. That should be the stipulation of the match.
Hey,
It don't matter who's the champ, whether it's Io, whether it's Asuka. They're all just holding it for Charlotte's number 15.
We know it. We know it.
the ladies know it. Yeah.
We all know it. They're just placeholders. They're just placeholders. It doesn't matter. And then at WrestleMania we're going to end up with Charlotte and Bianca. So we'll see.
They really like Raquel.
I think Raquel's going to be your Royal Rumble winner.
Yeah.
As part of the preview, I think she's going to number one. I actually thought the women's Money in the Bank was a little better than the men's Money in the Bank this year.
I agree.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah. I thought Gunther and Matt Riddle's match was exactly what it should be. 7 minutes, 45 seconds. Gunther beat him. A hobbled Matt Riddle should not be competitive with Gunther.
Would you consider that your favorite match of the pay-per-view?
No.
Okay.
But I do love that Gunther defeats people in a variety of different ways.
Yeah, and that was a unique take.
I love that. Because in just the last couple of years, I've seen this dude beat somebody with a chop, beat somebody with the heel hook, beat somebody with the power bomb, a lariat, a Boston Crab. He's going to take what you give him, and he's going to finish you with it. And he has all these different moves that are over. That's believable for him to win with.
Yeah.
So him beating Matt Riddle with the heel hook when he had an injured ankle, it was perfect to me. I loved it. I thought Cody and Dominic's match was exactly what it should be again.
Quick and easy, especially for Cody's push.
Quick and easy. Was that sneaky heel. He got in a couple of hits, tried to run off. It was a Cody match for sure, but it worked. It was a good buffer. Seth Rollins and Finn Balor. I thought the hype for it, especially that video package that they did for Finn right before, what was it, Raw?
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought that was great. And it actually had me invested into the match. And then I saw the match and I was like, yeah.
That match, it wasn't as good as their match that they had on like the Raw.
Right.
Where they had like, I don't know, was it like was it the finals or the semifinals? It was the semifinals.
Yeah. And Finn was supposed to win. Yeah.
It was the semifinals of the tournament.
The championship tournament. Yeah.
Yeah, that match was better than this one.
Yeah. This was one of those, like, we're telling a story match. The story means more than the match.
Yeah, they did the buckle bomb in the corner, the safer spot stuff. They learned their lessons per se, and it was still Finn taking that bump. So
Seth needs to stop doing that buckle bomb.
That's one of the worst moves on it.
Every time I see him do it, I cringe.
Yeah,
like, I saw him give it to Damian Priest the other week. I was scared for him.
Yeah, I feel that way. Like I do the diving headbutt.
Yeah. He always throws them too low. So they can't get over the turnbuckle and hit. On the top of the back, they're always too low. And it's just like, dude, if you're not, either get closer or stop doing it. You've injured
trying to paralyze
supposed
somebody.
to injuring people too many times, and you get mad when Bret Hart says you're not safe. But we see this visual evidence of you not doing this move right multiple times.
He made Sting pretty much retire, and even though Sting is technically not retired, but still, it hurt him for a good while.
Yeah, and then he went to AEW
and almost killed himself. Oh yeah.
Oh my God, we'll talk about that later.
We're going to talk about that later.
that was just stupid.
I can't.
Idiocracy. Yeah. We'll save that one.
We're going to save that. And then the Bloodline Civil War. I want to say that I think that this Roman Reigns run, it would not be the same if it didn't happen in the pandemic. If it didn't start in the pandemic. Because in the pandemic, they didn't have a crowd. So they were able to mic the ring more. So you got to hear him talk during the matches and verbally tell the story in the match.
He's a good storyteller. I do admit that.
So he did that. And then the stuff when he's talking to the hard camera as he's going up the ramp or whatever is good too. It worked because it happened during the pandemic where there wasn't a crowd, and it has carried over to where you kind of need it. A lot of it relies on that, and they still deliver. Even so, I thought the match was very, very good.
It was a little slow in the beginning, but
a little slow.
They're trying to build it up. They know that they have to have the audience carry.
They were telling the story. They were telling the story,
especially with that crowd.
Yeah, that crowd was all over Roman. That was a good.
You need that. You really do. At least for Roman. Yeah.
Yeah, that was. I like the sequence, the storytelling. When Roman hit the spear and hit the pin, Jay kicked out and nut shot him.
Yeah.
That was a throwback to one of their matches.
Their early matches. Yeah. The Thunderdome era.
Yeah. It was a throwback to that. And then so now they're setting up Jay versus Roman. I'm actually glad. Some people are like, well, we already seen this match, but their match deserves to be in front of a crowd.
And it's different.
Yeah.
It's different this time around.
It's just different time around, but they had some really good matches against each other. Yeah. And when they was having their matches against each other, I was thinking, man, what would have been like in front of a crowd?
Yeah, for sure.
Now, like almost 3 years later, now they got a chance to do it in front of a crowd. And I think we all think Roman's going to win, but there's this slight safety. You never know. They started Jay, might end with Jay. You never know. I don't think Jay's going to win it, but there are going to be some near falls where people go 1, 2, and they're going to be like, and then now you put in the head that Roman can be pinned. He's not unbeatable.
Mm-hmm.
He's human.
And he can be pinned by Jay.
Yeah.
So
clean too.
Yeah. I wouldn't say
even though Jay did a low blow, it's still they finished essentially. So
I mean he was kicking out. He could make the thing like I was just kicking out. Out. But I mean it's that was a good match. There was a lot of nice little ties that they had in there where they did the double spear on them. Was it Jimmy did the rocks punches?
Yeah.
So there was that little
team. No, that was Jay that did the rock punch.
That was Jay?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. It was Jay after he got the hot tag.
And Solo did my favorite spot was when he was with the crowd, then went on the barricade and jumped through the table. It was you kind of need that element too, like comedic, like,
So look, man, there's people need to give Roman his props for the way he has elevated talent throughout this run, because he's elevated a guy like Jay, who is a tag team specialist, to a point where we could legitimately see him win this title.
Yeah, for SummerSlam.
Sami Zayn was wallowing in the mid card as a comedic act, and he elevated this dude to a main event star. Like he's been elevating people throughout this whole journey, and he really needs to get his props for that. Shout out to Roman Reigns.
Hey, you one thing you skipped. You skipped the 16-time world champion. I ain't talking about Ric Flair. We talking about John Cena. Return. Now
we did skip the return of John Cena. I'm sorry, I did skip that.
We talk about like, okay, like guys in wrestling, who's over? Like, what type of crowd reaction can you get? Like, do guys get crowd reactions? Like, there's nobody in wrestling getting crowd reactions like that when they come out.
No.
Like, yeah, it was a little bit of surprise pop and all that, but like we that's where we want wrestling to eventually get back to, where the baby faces can get just pops like that.
Right.
Like that's the type of pop Austin used to get. The Rock,
yeah, Stone Cold levels, yeah.
Even the racist Hulk Hogan used to get, but those are the type of pops that those top babyface stars used to get, man. And I like it was typical Cena promo, and I like they got Grayson Waller out there. It was going good until he tried to act like John Cena was a jobber or something. Then it was like, oh, it's not believable.
That's when it stalled. Yeah, they just needed like 2 or 3 lines from him. They know the deal.
John Cena just hits his finisher and go about business. Nothing wrong with him saying WrestleMania should be in Australia. Get you a little cheap heat. But once he started just talking,
yeah, you're right. Right after that, it's like they repeated the routine. It's somebody messed up. It is what it is.
But I'll say, yeah, it is what it is. That's a great show. But I'll say this: he's more of a natural talker than Austin Theory is, though.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes,
absolutely.
Like he's like charisma wise is what they wish Austin Theory was.
Yeah. It technically was his spot. That's the first ever like big push technically for Waller in my book. So I'm like, well, okay, there you go. That's how you use him.
I think he's injured right now, so that's why he's just doing a lot of talking.
Okay.
I think he got injured in that Carmelo Hayes match.
Okay, didn't know. Okay.
Okay. Side note, because this was something that they asked on Twitter: better talker, MJF or John Cena?
Man, it depends on what your style is and everything like that. But MJF is the great heel promo. Could MJF be a heel? I mean, a babyface promo. We don't know that. Like John Cena, even though it was brief, it wasn't long. John Cena can be a heel.
Yeah,
he has. Yeah.
Yeah, he could be a heel. He could be a damn good heel too. Jim Cornette talked about stories when he was in OVW and John Cena was a heel. He said before John Cena caught on with the rap again, became big babyface, he thought John Cena was going to be one of the greatest heels of all time. He said that's how good of a heel that John Cena was in OVW. Like he thought he was going to be like more of like a Ric Flair like type of heel.
Yeah, I heard that too.
Yeah, so like John Cena could be both a heel and a babyface. Can MJF? Is MJF gonna be one of those guys like Triple H or Ric Flair, where he's great, like where he's a great heel, but anytime he turns babyface, you don't believe it.
Right.
And like Ric Flair to me is like literally like the only guy that's like kind of one-dimensional. But you still consider him one of the greatest of all time, because in my book, most of the time, when you consider somebody the greatest of all time, you got to be able to play both, in my opinion.
Eddie Guerrero, my book. Yeah.
But Ric Flair, even though he wasn't never a great babyface, he's still one of the greatest ever, because that's just how great he was as a fucking heel. He was just so fucking amazing as a heel that him not being a great babyface didn't like tarnish him or anything like that.
Right.
Yeah, and then like even though racist Hulk Hogan, he could play both. Racist Hogan can play both. He could be a heel and a babyface.
Racist cuck. Hulk Hogan.
Yes, racist cock.
But
Racist cock. Racist cock.
Hogan wasn't. But a lot of thing is Hogan wasn't just NWO like heel. Hogan started out as a heel.
Yes. Yeah.
He started out as a heel when he first started. Like when he was in Rocky 3, he was a heel at that time in wrestling. And they thought Hogan was going to be like a great heel, and then the Hulkamania stuff caught on. So, but yeah, so pretty much if you're talking about, to answer your question, it was a little long-winded. I'll get an edge to John Cena as a better talker because I know that John Cena can do a great heel promo and a great babyface promo. Right now, we just know that MJF can do a great heel promo. We don't know, can he do a great babyface promo and you actually believe it?
And his promos are starting to peter out a little bit for me.
Well, for me, it's because of the after matches promos he does with Tony Khan. I think that's where he peaks. Like he saves his best material for that. But in the show, Tony Khan's writing or wherever the heck is dumbed down a little bit. He improvises here but there's instances where you can tell it's like a little bit too forced. So I would pick Cena, unfortunately. And it's not bad, unfortunately. It's more of a sense of like MJF can do better.
Yeah, I think it depends on who MJF is with.
But like people say, who's a better promo to him and John Cena? The real question: who's better between him and CM Punk as a promo?
Yeah. Because even CM Punk is becoming more theatrical a little bit, but he still tells the story across. You listen to every syllable he says. So. And then, and of course, he had the ultimate pipe bomb for both in a live event and in a press conference. two ultimate pipe bombs.
I think MJF and CM Punk's style is a lot closer than CM Punk than Cena and MJF.
Yeah. But it depends on what you're a fan of. Like if you're not a fan of the like WWE style of promo, you're gonna definitely think MJF.
Yeah.
But to me, I'm not looking at it just as the WWE style promo. I'm just looking at it as like I've seen a guy that could do both styles as far as babyface and heel promo. And I've seen one guy that's great at one, but I don't know. Now, if MJF could do a great babyface promo, I'll say MJF. If he could, but will we ever even see him as a babyface? We don't know. So
yeah. And also, I think we all know that Cena pretty much can say what he wants in WWE, and even if he was not restrained by that, he'd probably be an even better talker without WWE restrictions. So
if he had the Rock's like improv a little bit too, like he would be all time great.
Cena can improv.
He can. It's just because of a lot of his battle raps.
I could get like there's like very few wrestlers like when I used to see when Cena was in his prime, he was getting a mixed reaction. Mm-hmm. He could turn that crowd to do whatever the fuck he wanted them to do.
Yes, he could.
And that's why I'm hoping for CM Punk. If he
does this, they can come out, have them booing him 1 minute, and then he can say some stuff, get the crowd cheering him.
Yeah. That's why I'm hoping for the CM Punk like heel turn. I want him a little bit more like similar to racist Hulk Hogan, how he played the call.
Yeah, CM Punk can't really turn heel. Unfortunately, it's going to be like a Bret Hart type thing.
Okay, yeah.
If he's in the elite territory, he's going to be a heel.
Yes.
If he's not, he's going to be a babyface.
Yeah, that's a good call.
Depends on who the crowd likes. Him, the elite.
Good call.
But the good thing is he can do both.
Yeah. And Bret Hart's heel turn, that's overlooked. It really is. He was a really good heel. So
yeah. So well, that pretty much wraps up Money in the Bank. Josh, you gave it a B-. Jack, what do you give it?
I'll give it a B, solid B. Better than the Forbidden Door. There you go.
Yeah, I
And
give
man, it's controversial because I feel it's better than Forbidden Door too. But
yeah.
the first Forbidden Door, well, I don't mean to get to it, was definitely better than this one, man.
Yeah. we're going to get to, you know what? All right, so let's get to Forbidden Door. Let me
I got a hot take on Forbidden Door.
let me run down the card. Tom Lawler defeated Serpentico in the pre-show because Adam Cole was sick.
No one cares.
The Mogul Embassy,
Swerve.
Chaos.
Swerve.
Athena defeated Billy Starks.
That should have been the show.
Owen Hart Cup Tournament first round match. Whatever. And my goodness, how many pre-show cards were there? Okay. El Fantasmo defeated Stu Grayson. And Los Ingobernables de Japón defeated United Empire in the 5 pre-show matches. I didn't watch any of them, so I can't give you any insight on those.
I was watching it as background noise because I was playing my video game at the time. Until the main show came on.
I skipped it. Well, you know.
I'm not watching that 5 pre-show match. That's just, you've noticed that the WWE kind of stopped doing the pre-show matches. Nobody cares.
No, they even like the analysts. You know, they want their input, and they do like pre promo video.
You know what? That's one thing that we forgot to touch on. Pause. With Money in the Bank, Paul Heyman's pre-show promo.
Oh my goodness!
Ooh,
masterclass.
Ooh, that
tears in eyes, man.
That he should be recruited at the Royal Company for Shakespeare.
He's always been a great talker, but we have to put him up there. He's in the discussion for greatest talker ever. He's got a discussion. He's
already put, if you're the best manager ever.
His interview with Pat McAfee.
Yeah.
Yeah, because originally it was supposed to be Seth Rollins, and then Pat McAfee does the intro of Seth Rollins, and Paul Heyman pops up, man. And Paul Heyman just cuts the fuck. It was like right after Jey Uso had turned on Roman.
Yeah.
Paul just for like 20 minutes, man, him and Pat McAfee was going back and forth banner. It was just amazing TV to watch. I mean, it was just like Paul could just get you. He could talk about a cockroach and have you interested, man.
Yeah.
How do you think he made ECW a live thing for over 20 years? You know, a genius.
Genius, man, and he's in the right role. All right, so the Forbidden Door card, MJF defeated Hiroshi Tanahashi. CM Punk defeated Satoshi Kojima, even though he caught an elbow to the nuts. Orange Cassidy defeated Zack Sabre Jr., Shibata, and Daniel Garcia. Sonata defeated Jungle Boy Jack Perry with the Jack Perry heel turn at the end. The Elite defeated the Blackpool Combat Club. In the garbage match of the night, Tony Storm defeated Willow Nightingale. And we got the worst place on this card match of the night. Will Ospreay defeated Kenny Omega. Sting, Darby Allin, and Naito defeated Chris Jericho, Sammy Guevara, and Minoru Suzuki in the match where Sting almost killed himself again. And Bryan Danielson defeated Okada by submission, and the Danielson got hurt at Forbidden Door again match.
I got a hot take.
Hot take.
Hot take.
This pay-per-view, the AEW stands to get match. This was a one-match pay-per-view. You take Kenny Omega and Will Ospreay off this show, this is literally one of the worst shows of the year, like from a big company. Like it was just, and it's not like it was just because it was just terrible match. It was just a lot of that.
Yeah.
Like Will Ospreay Kenny Omega is the only match worth going on to see this show about. And like Bryan Danielson and Okada just keep what it was disappointment, man.
Yeah.
And it's not like I'm the huge New Japan mark, but I've seen way better matches from Okada.
Yeah, Okada's done better. In
Way better.
And
you've seen way better matches from Bryan Danielson. Hell, MJF and Bryan Danielson was like 10 times better than this, man.
Yeah.
I mean, I figured that match was going to go 60 minutes, but he got hurt, so it went 27, and that 27 kind of dragged.
That 27 was a slodge, man. It was like, man, when are they gonna do something in this goddamn match, bro? Like, it was like a good technical match. It was like
I was about to say each match they didn't even try for the Japanese wrestlers. They didn't even try to do strong styles. They're trying to like get a rhythm. And it felt like the American ones were trying to be like, okay, what do you? It's miscommunication, especially in CM Punk's match, especially with the first match with MJF. And the first one's a slog. That one's more of a slog than Okada. Yeah,
He's washed up, man.
It was hard.
He moved so slow. He looking like Lita out there, man.
Dude, like it was hard to he's washed. Minoru Suzuki, same thing. He can't move. He can't move. So it's like you got these guys that are legends in New Japan, but they're not being shown in a good light here. It's just hard to watch them. It was hard to watch MJF wrestle that match around Tanahashi's limitations. It turned out all right, but it was hard to watch him wrestle around those limitations.
That shows you the genius of MJF because just the facial expressions, the non-physical stuff, man, he had it so knocked down to a team, man.
Yeah, it's true.
He made the match watchable. Like and this MJF can't work stuff needs to be put to bed. The MJF can't work.
Whoever started that rumor is a complete fool.
Complete fool. Because if you would have had a lesser talent, if you would have had if you would have had like Kenny Omega in the fucking ring with Tana, that match would have fucking shit, man. It would have somebody that want to do all that crazy ass bullshit.
And Kenny would kind of make, he would try to make him more over than should be. It's like, come on.
The MJF was the perfect guy for that stuff to work with. He's such a good heel that he don't have to do anything for the crowd to not want to boo him and shit.
Right. Yeah, that was a rough watch.
That was a rough watch. The CM Punk match was a rough watch, man.
I thought the same thing you said about MJF's match. I thought about CM Punk's match. It was a rough watch, but CM Punk made it watchable.
Yeah,
he made it watchable.
And then what was the match after that?
Orange Cassidy.
Oh my God, the comedy match. That was just.
I skipped that one. I purposely skipped that one.
I don't blame you. That was Daniel Garcia. He keeps trying to do this little. What the fuck is he doing, man? Like, and then Orange Cassidy doing his stupid kicks, and it's just terrible. And then I don't want to talk much about that match. Did we have Sonata and Jungle Boy after that?
Sonata and Jungle Boy is after that.
That was one of the matches that I actually enjoyed, but I didn't enjoy it until the end of the match. I just enjoyed it because Sonata just made Jungle Boy look like a complete fucking job.
Yes. This is a champion. This is
special, but he made him just look like a complete fucking jobber.
Yeah.
It was just like
him in that match with Roosh. Jungle Boy has not had a good run lately.
Yeah, it's like I remember Jim Cornette was going off about this and stuff, but it's not. He was like, man, whoever booked this match should allow this to happen and stuff like that. I'm like, I said Jim Cornette. That's on Jungle Boy. You're Jungle Boy. you're Jungle Boy, and you're in a position to challenge for the title, and Roosh comes over with you out there, I'm like, you said, hey, pull it. That don't work for me, brother.
Yeah.
You is not about to beat the fucking shit out of me right before I'm about to have a pay-per-view match. What the fuck
How am I supposed to believe in this guy after he caught a beat down from Rouge?
Yeah.
It was bad.
Did he bust him open in that match too?
I think so.
Wow.
Yeah, he's not fucking busting me up. Get the fuck out of here, man. Like, come on now. Like, that's not on Tony. That's not on Tony Khan or on the Booker. You're Jungle Boy. You've been pushed in a prominent position in this company. Hey, like they say you shouldn't use politics and wrestling bullshit. Politics ain't always like people hear the word politics and automatically think that it's something bad. Like politics ain't just you trying to get you a world champion. Sometimes you got a politic to say, "Oh, this is not fucking happening to me."
Yeah, you gotta show face. You gotta stand your ground. I agree.
Stand your ground, like that. That's politics. Just like
it's the Stone Cold Brock Lesnar thing. Yeah. Where it's like, no, why would I drop this to him on a regular TV match? This should be a pay-per-view feud.
Pay-per-view booking. Let's get some money behind it.
Yeah. I mean, that was bad. I mean, it was funny, like hearing about how Sonata just did that interview trashing Jungle Boy too.
Yes, you know who he is. A perfect champion. That's what it's similar to Cody Rhodes versus Dom. Like they didn't have that banter per se, but it was more a sense of like I'm up here, buddy. You gotta work your way up.
Yeah, but hey, he didn't make Dom look like the way Ruth made Jungle Boy.
No, it was more like a learning experience.
It was more like a learning experience. It was more like, okay, this guy's not on my level because he's like a sniveling, sleepy kind of guy, but I still got to watch out for him because he got tricks up in the sleeve.
Yeah. And Ray there too. He countered out Ray.
Yeah. So what Jungle Boy just looked like, just like complete bitch. Just like a bitch, like he just come on now, like you can't let somebody do you like that, man.
Now he's trying to do his acting skills and try to act like a bad boy with his dad's jack. And he's so mad at the world. He has to take out a white boy named Hook. So mad at the world.
The only way a Jungle Boy heel turn might work, maybe he walks out there with Anna Jay. That's the only way it might work.
Get that pretty girl out there, man.
That's the only way it might work.
Yeah. Him turning on Hook, it didn't really do anything because Jungle Hook, they ain't win no tag team titles or anything like that. They had a little tag team run for a while and then they got back together. But it was like, it's not big enough. Like, it's not like if like Max Caster turn on Anthony Bowens or something like that. Like,
right.
Yeah.
Come on now.
It was so obvious that he was going to turn on her. It was so obvious.
Like to me, a more effective heel turn would have been like, okay, let's say he turned on Darby Allin or something like that. You know, there are two baby faces, and then like, you know, let's say they have an interview segment on Dynamite, and they talk about how much they respect each other. They didn't win the title, but he has their respect. And Jungle Boy, you know, he cuts a babyface promo, and out of nowhere, he just cheap shots Darby Allin and beats the shit out of him. That'd have been more effective than him turning on Hook, somebody that's been cooled off.
We've never seen on TV.
Now, it's like he's been cooled off. You barely see him. I'm supposed to care about his rivalry with Hook. I'm sorry, I don't.
You know, a real discussion needs to be had that AEW is falling in to the same pattern that WWE did, in that these talents that are organically getting over are getting snuffed out.
I tried to tell AEW fans this.
They don't want to hear it.
When it was happening, I said, y'all gonna run into the same problem that WWE has, and what it is that your roster eventually is going to get too bloated.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, eventually, they're going to have to do 2 different shows, just like WWE. So they're going to have too many people on their goddamn roster.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like they're kind of doing it with Collision and Dynamite. Like right now, even though you still have guys from Dynamite that show up on Collision, they're kind of making it 2 different shows a little bit.
They're trying to.
Yeah, they're trying to.
I mean,
Yeah,
there's a lot to be done.
I'll say this though, I'm enjoying Collision, even though the ratings on Collision have been terrible the last couple of weeks. I'm enjoying the ratings. I'm enjoying the on Collision a little bit more. It's not as much silly shit on Collision as it is on Dynamite.
Right.
And
Different
to
booking.
me, on Collision, they're booking the heavyweights more on Collision too now.
Yes, yes. And I'm hoping to watch the
we'll see
Samoa
how
Joe
that
versus.
goes.
Yeah, I'm hoping to watch the Samoa Joe versus Punk match. Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's it. That's an issue again. Like Samoa Joe is Ring of Honor. So what are you going to do this Ring of Honor crossover stuff again?
Yeah.
That's a problem. That's just a lot of wrestling to have Wednesday, Ring of Honor Thursday, Rampage Friday, Collision Saturday, and then the occasional pay-per-view Sunday. That's a lot of wrestling.
A ton.
No,
Yeah.
they said that TNT wanted that show more than AEW did.
It reminds me of when WCW was given Thunder.
Yeah.
And Bischoff's like, I don't want it. But they're like, we want it.
Like the network, their ratings are gonna be terrible. Their ratings already dropping. The college football ain't even back yet, man.
We knew it was going to drop. It's a Saturday. Like
Summer.
It's an awful day. You're competing with the UFC. You're competing with college. You're going to be competing with college athletics. You're going to be competing with the occasional WWE pay-per-view, especially the ones that's out of the country. You're competing with big boxing matches. Like, I'm not watching Collision when Spence and Crawford are fighting. Are you nuts? Saturday night is not a good night for you to be on.
I was telling Jamaal that I wish they would just move like Rampage of like Bubble Show for that Saturday and make it more like a recap show, what like WWE used to do with Saturday Heat or Sunday Heat and or ECW very late night ECW recap hour thing they did. Overall, just give us up to speed with the booking. Give us up to speed with the storylines. Maybe have a match from the after, Rampage, essentially, like one of those matches from Rampage. Whatever. That'll pass by 5 minutes. No biggie. But let me know what's up with MGF. I missed 2 weeks worth of programming. What's up with MGF? Oh, he faced Tanahashi? I missed that match. Things like that. Like back to the sources.
I'm gonna tell you why they don't do stuff like that anymore now.
The internet.
The internet, but not just the internet. A little something called YouTube. Like you can literally go whatever you missed. Like they expect people to go on YouTube, and a lot of people do go on YouTube. Like if you miss something that happened on AEW, like you look at like for example, WWE's YouTube videos. They fucking YouTube videos be freaking millions of people watch.
Yes. You are right. You are right.
That's why shows like that don't exist. And AEW actually does have a YouTube show that does recap, like whenever they're going to a new city or something, like they give a recap what's happening, a preview of what's going to happen. So that's why they don't do those type of shows anymore, because it's so easily accessible on YouTube. So they feel like it's a waste of time.
All right, fair.
But that doesn't mean that they shouldn't still do more recaps throughout the shows.
Yeah,
like,
I agree with that.
AEW fans told me that that's not how wrestling is done. And that's never how wrestling has been done. And I'm like, no, you get a package. Drew McIntyre comes out. You have something explaining. All right, he came back at Money in the Bank. He last wrestled at WrestleMania. You tell this story so I know what's going on in case I miss something. I don't watch every minute. I'm not going on YouTube to find every little clip. I'm not going on Hulu to rewatch all the shows. Explain it to me so I'm up to speed. So if I want to go back and watch it, I can.
Yeah.
Okay, I get that.
It's more of like the access too. And what we mentioned prior to, like, what if Collision was streaming? Like, what if it was with HBO Max? You know,
I'd
like,
watch it more.
Yeah.
Yeah. Damn,
Is
we got that off track, man. Oh,
Well, it has been much better than freaking talking about Forbidden Door.
it is though, because Forbidden Door,
Yeah.
like man, like Forbidden Door, man, the AEW stand, like I don't know how you even as an AEW stand thought that show was good.
No. I didn't even know what was the spot that Bryan Danielson got hurt.
It was when Okada came off the top of the elbow.
Oh.
He hit him in the arm.
Oh, okay.
So we had the exploding foot match with Matt Jackson, which was awful. That match was terrible.
It wasn't a worse match. The match they had the previous pay-per-view.
For the Bucks,
the Elite in the Blackpool Combat Club.
Oh,
that match, one of that fucking match was it was no rules, that crazy unorganized bullshit they had.
You're right. Yeah.
I need to watch Jeff Cornette video on it, but it was like the video was like 30 minutes. I'm like, I ain't watching that shit, man.
I mean, it's
like, I know he probably shit on that match.
Yes, he did. Well, here's the thing. It's like you already have two matches like that. Why do I need to see a blood and guts with them? They've already done everything. Yeah. It doesn't make any sense. But AEW fans tell me that's a long-term booking. So
yeah, and perfect for Moxley. Like Moxley can do it right after the next show.
Tony Storm and Willow Nightingale, I thought they actually had a decent match, but nobody cared about that match.
Tony Storm has improved.
I don't know if you follow this guy. His name JC something.
Yeah.
He watches like every fucking wrestling promotion.
Yeah, he does.
I love trolling that guy, man. He's fun to troll, man. You probably see my tweets just trolling the shit out of him.
I see him.
I don't even be serious. I just like fucking with him because he's gonna fucking respond to every fucking tweet you send to his ass.
Oh no shit!
I be trolling about Willow Nightingale. I said it was the Sesame Street video. What's the letter of the alphabet? It spells L. I said out a tweet. Willow Nightingale. Whenever all the chips are on the line and it really matters.
And it's true. She takes a lot of losses.
The thing is, I like Willow Nightingale as a talent. I'm gonna be biased. I'm gonna go ahead and say it. I like seeing Black women, be successful in wrestling. But like Willow Nightingale, they have shown AEW has shown that she's the woman that she'll beat some women, but when it counts, when it really matters, she's gonna lose. She's usually used like a stepping stone for like other women to be like, oh, during her title reign, she beat this person, she beat Willow Nightingale, and
she's the babyface version of Nyla Rose.
Yeah.
Everybody that wins that women's championship, they always beat Nyla Rose first, and then we don't see Nyla Rose for 6 months.
Yeah,
and there's a new champion.
And Willow Nightingale, she just lost her title that she just had, but that's a New Japan title, so I don't really.
Yeah, and how she won it is because of Mercedes getting hurt, and it's like, oh man.
And I saw that too, and I knew she was hurt as soon as I saw that.
Yeah, so they said she was supposed to be a Forbidden Door.
Yeah.
Oh, if she was healthy, wow, that makes sense.
That hurt. I would rather see her and Tony Storm than Willow Nightingale and Tony Storm, because it was like we all know. But then Tony Storm, she's a good talent, but she don't feel as important. Because I think low key we all know the only reason Tony Storm is the champion is because Saraya can't fucking wrestle, because Soraya was the one they were going to put the AEW Women's title on.
Yeah.
But then they found out she can't fucking wrestle because she's injured and shit. So
worse than Daniel Bryan, worse than Edge. Yeah.
So it's like, so they was like, okay, we've already went with this Outcast storyline. We got to put the belt on somebody. So
because they're definitely not putting it on.
Because when they first started out, Toni Storm was like the lackey.
Yeah, she was.
And then all of a sudden now she's a champ. It's like, I love trolling TY too about because he's such a Jamie hater stan. I be showing Toni Storm like we finally got a respectable women's champion.
Oh God.
Yeah, but all honesty, I like Toni Storm's talent, but she's placeholder champion if we keeping it real.
Yeah.
But when I'm on Twitter, I act like when I'm on Twitter though, I act like she's the greatest thing walking.
Those legs, the thunderous thighs.
Oh my God, they're already. I'm watching this Ruby Soho Britt Baker match. Ruby Soho is already botching, man.
Ruby Soho is Jack. I know you have an affinity for her because you watched her in the indie. Not good. She's always been very mid at best to me.
Yeah, the problem is that it has been ultimately her style. Yeah, her style is indie-rific, and her it's good enough, it's clean enough. The problem is that it's too. I don't know. She just doesn't gel.
Short hair.
Yeah.
She Shotzi Blackheart, or I guess Shotzi.
Yeah.
But
yes, Shotzi similar, very similar.
Yeah, I what I was gonna say is that like the storyline that AEW, I don't know why they didn't run, was Britt Baker and Jamie Hayter. That was the fucking big women's storyline you're gonna have.
They wouldn't do the. It's one of those things. They like to drag out these turns until it's almost too late.
Yeah, especially for Britt because they want Britt to be face.
And then Britt, she don't feel as special as she once did.
No.
Like she just
throws into this mismatch of people. So it's like, okay, we had the thing with her and Saraya, and now she's just teaming up with random people. And it's just not working. They've cooled off so many talent.
Oh my goodness.
It's insane. I don't even want to start the list, but it's bad. So match of the night, Will Ospreay and Kenny Omega. I think that's going to be a lot of people's in contention for match of the year for a lot of people.
I did like it better than the first one.
What I liked about this match was that it wasn't just them doing a whole bunch of flips all day.
Mm-hmm.
They actually got physical. They were doing some. It was some stiff stuff. Might have been a little bit too stiff on some of the stuff.
Yeah, the Liger bomb.
Well, they have legitimate heat.
Yeah.
So it showed, and that kind of makes the matches better.
Yeah. So it was very physical, and it was blood that actually should have been blood in the match.
Yeah.
It wasn't that John Moxley crap where it's just like, oh, I'm John Moxley. My matches just have to bleed.
He has so much scar tissue. Even when he cries, he bleeds.
I mean, that's why he's probably losing all his goddamn hair.
Yeah.
He's
scrapping on top of his head. Yeah.
Yeah, like that's what I'm saying. You're not supposed to be bleeding from your head like that. That's why you fucking hair receding and shit, man. Yeah, but it was a great match. This is a match you go back and watch. It's definitely a match of the year candidate, no matter what kind of wrestling you like. Even if you're like a hardcore WWE stan.
It's my favorite match of Omega in AEW. So yeah.
Yeah, you can't. I don't know how you didn't enjoy this match. I heard Jim Cornette's review. He didn't like it for some reason. I think Jim Cornette, because he doesn't like Kenny Omega, any match that he has, he's just gonna shit on it.
Well, there was a couple things I didn't like. Him kicking out the one winged angel at one.
You mean, yeah, the one, yeah, I didn't like that either. Yeah,
I didn't like
the
that.
Hulk Hogan self.
Yeah, and he hulked up. I hated that, and I hated the whole screwdriver thing with Don Callis. I hated that too. That took me out the match for a while.
And what he fucked up because he was trying to take so long to get it out of his pocket.
Yeah, and he slipped.
Yeah.
It was that took me out of the match. When they got rid of him in the beginning of the match, I was like, okay, this is going to be good. And then when he came back and he had the screwdriver, I said, they're doing this again. What is up with this dumb screwdriver? That took me out of the match again. So because of those things, I kind of like the first match a little better. But this was still a great match. It's sad that it was on this crappy card. But I mean, I guess that helped it shine a bit. But I'm not a big Kenny Omega guy, but they delivered in this match, so shout out to those two. A couple things that I didn't like, but great match.
Next match is
Sting, Darby Allin, Naito versus Jericho. Nobody cares.
Nobody cares.
He almost killed himself.
Yeah, that Sammy did that goddamn cutter off the. Like, I don't know if Sting got a concussion after that because he was not like.
Yeah, he didn't look right.
He didn't look right. It was like one spot where Darby was getting pinned and Sting was in the ring, and he like, when they referees counting, Sting just walked to his corner, like fast. Didn't even try to break up the pin, man.
And it's the same. In the same stretch of when he does the table jump, it's like, come on, Sting, come on, boo.
He's trying. That's the thing about AEW. They always encourage people's worst habits.
Even the refs, even the fucking refs. I don't understand that. Limit yourself. Know your place. Know your role.
They don't.
They don't.
They don't, because every match has to be a 5-star match. Somebody's got to go through the table. Sting has to do these ridiculous high spots, even though he's Social Security age. Like, just the great thing about Sting's early run in AEW was that he didn't have to do much.
Yeah, and he pushed Darby.
It's Sting.
Yeah.
He came out there. He did a couple spots. He did the Stinger Splash. He did the Scorpion Death Block. Like, he just did a few moves. He did the yell. Darby did all the work. But he got the tag. He did, that was perfect. That's the perfect spot for Sting.
It's technically the best thing.
Doing too much.
Yeah, I was thinking about it too. It's technically the most creative thing Tony did for AEW, at least for like having a shadowy legend have the spiritual successor to next to him, be his guidance partner.
Yeah, I'm glad that he had Sting and not Jeff Hardy, because that would have been worse for both of them.
Yeah.
The last match with Danielson and Okada, we spoke on that already.
Yeah, maybe that match got cut short or something because
it got cut short. Yeah, you can tell it did.
I wouldn't, but the tap out,
Yeah, that tap out was very strange.
It was a rush finish. It was a rush finish.
It was rush finish. The match was like, I don't mean to be disrespectful. It just came off like a Dean Malenko match. But just something that is very technical and like well wrestled, but just boring as shit.
It was terribly boring. Terribly boring.
Yeah, and kind of didn't have his moment to shine. It felt like it, and it didn't benefit anybody. It was
like Okada looked really bad taking that loss.
Like if you a wrestling fan, like a new wrestling fan, and this was your first time seeing Okada, you're gonna be thinking, what's the fucking big deal about this guy?
Right.
Yeah, sadly, compared to his other jumps, even the first All In, he was great in that.
Yeah, but we can't talk about him anymore because he's canceled.
Yeah, it says.
So overall, what grade would you give Forbidden Door?
I'm gonna be generous. I'm gonna give him like a I'm gonna give him a C. I'll give him a C. I'll be generous.
Because of Omega, yeah.
Yeah, because I was gonna go C minus, but I'll give him a C.
I was going to go C minus. I was going C minus.
I was leaning towards D plus, to be honest, but that C minus, I think, is just there. And
C-
it wasn't like everything wrong happened or all the wrestlers didn't care. They all cared. It's just a matter of miscommunication. This partnership with Japan should have happened years ago, but here we are now.
Well, it's just Japan stars are just old.
Yeah, that too.
Putting them in the ring with these guys, and it's like I'm supposed to care about these old Japan stars, but if you don't watch New Japan, like, do you really care about Kojima? No, their AEW has always catered to their hardcore fans, so
that's why their fan base hasn't grown. And
yeah,
They'll never grow at this point.
It's gonna drop before it grows because they just cater to them. But moving on, Forbidden Door stumped. Night of Champions in Saudi Arabia. We had Seth Rollins defeat AJ Styles for the heavyweight championship that nobody wants. Trish Stratus defeated Becky Lynch. Gunther defeated Mustafa Ali. Asuka beat Bianca Belair to shockingly win the championship. Rhea squashed Natalia, which seems to be a reoccurring thing. Brock beat Cody, and Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn beat Roman and Solo. Thoughts?
I thought this show, I put it in the middle. It's like it like you had after WrestleMania, you had the Backlash, which I thought was a really good show, and then you had the Money in the Bank, which I thought was a good show. And this one was kind of the one that was like, man, it wasn't as bad as Forbidden Door, but it wasn't anything great. Like the tag team match, Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn versus Solo and Roman. I think out of all the Roman matches this year, this was probably the weakest one.
I agree.
Same.
So it was, good match, but it wasn't something that I gotta go back and watch. Like there was not a single match on this show where you're like, I gotta go back and watch that match. Like I think the Seth Rollins versus AJ Styles match, it was good, but it wasn't as good as I thought it was gonna be.
They've had better matches.
Yeah, better matches.
Yeah, it felt like they faced each other a lot too. It's one of those things where they might have faced at least 8 or 10 times. Maybe this is
AJ was not motivated in this match.
Yeah,
but you saw the shit. AJ, you saw like when they were doing interviews and they was asking him about that title, and he was just basically crapping on that fucking title.
Yeah.
And they was like asking him, is it a secondary title? He said, well, you had to create a new title because Roman had the title. He said, I don't see how it's not secondary.
Yeah.
It was obvious he wasn't going to win that title that was put on Seth Rollins, but even if he was offered it, it's like he didn't want that shit. I'm good.
Even Cody recently said the same thing.
So you had that the Bianca Asuka match. It was missing something. It wasn't as good as the WrestleMania match, nor it wasn't anything close to the match that Bianca and Io had. Yeah, they had a much better match. It was that match. That match is probably and it's not like it was a bad match, but it was definitely one of Bianca's weaker matches she had since she was champion. It was just like they were doing moves, but it wasn't like story behind it. And it was just like it was just I don't know. It wasn't anything So, anyway, I'm trying to remember what the other matches.
Yeah, to me, they have a style clash.
Yeah,
Something about those two, they just don't work well together. Individually, they're good and they have great matches with other people, but Oscar, they just don't work well together.
yeah. And then the other, what was the other one?
Trish beat Becky Lynch.
I thought
Yeah, boy.
I honestly thought that this probably was the best match on the card.
I agree.
Yeah,
because it actually, and I know Jamaal is controversial about this, and I actually agree with him. Like, as much as Becky Lynch is over as a talent and how much the crowd love her, Becky Lynch matches sometimes are hit and miss.
I agree.
they're
I'm
very
not-
hit or miss.
I'm not that big of a Becky fan myself, and
Yeah,
even the Money in the Bank, like she did stuff, but she tried to make it all about her. It's like one of those things where I'm like, I'm seeing you, Becky. I'm seeing you. You have to tone it down a bit.
Becky,
Yeah.
she's kind of like how Bret Hart said about Triple H. Like, she's the person that works with the top guy.
Yeah, true,
She can work and she can tell a story, but like her matches
She's a
need
great-
somebody that's gonna bring the sizzle.
yeah. She's a great dance partner.
Yeah, exactly.
So, like, this match with her and Trish, it was obvious Trish was leading this match.
Yes,
Oh, yeah.
surprisingly.
Like, because this was one of Becky better matches she had in a while. It was more physical. It felt like a fight. It was like what a grudge match
Should have been.
should have been. And I thought it was the best match on the card, personally. Like, I thought it was good. You could say that between that and the tag team match.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess I'm being a little harsh on the tag team match because you think about the match that they had with the Usos at the WrestleMania. You know, that was a much better match. You think about the match we just recently saw at Money in the Bank, that was a much better match. So, like, out of the tag team matches, that was probably it was like it was it was good, but it wasn't something that you have to go back and necessarily see. And like the Becky and Trish, even though I like that match and it was a really good match, I don't think you have to go back and watch that either.
No, not at all.
Yeah, so it was stuff that's why, me personally, I'm gonna give it a C+ simply because I'm not gonna rate it the same as Forbidden Door. It was better than Forbidden Door, but it wasn't like it was a whole lot better.
Right.
But
C+ is fair. Like, I think like Gunther and Mustafa Ali, they had the match that they should have had.
Yeah, that's the match I forgot about. Yeah, that one.
He's that they're a Saudi, so he's going to be in the match. Him and Gunther had a great big man, little man match. Mustafa shouldn't have stood a chance. He didn't. He had a couple moments. Gunther cut him off, beat him in less than 10 minutes. That's exactly what it should have been.
Yeah,
so,
and one thing I want to say is I don't think there was a single bad match on this pay-per-view.
Right.
Like, it wasn't any, there's a good thing about the WWE premium live events. There are not many matches on these shows where you look at it like, oh my God.
It's bad. Yeah.
It's bad. Like, it's no Great Khali versus Big Show.
Yeah.
It's so just you look at it like, oh my God, this is just awful. Like, isn't that, speaking of Money in the Bank, we skipped Shayna and Ronda, didn't we?
Yes. Speaking of awful.
Who cares?
Nobody cares.
Well, I care. I care because Ronda's my number one that I hate, and Shayna I
Did they have a
love.
tag title match on this pay-per-view though before though? I'm thinking they did. I don't know.
Yes, women's tag team. They should just combine it with the NXT. Yeah.
They did.
They
did. Okay, they officially did. Okay.
They had the match with Isla Dawn and Alba Fire, and they won that.
Okay, and that was a SmackDown or something like that.
See, but that just goes to show
And
you
they
how much
literally broke up. They literally broke up Shayna Ronda's tag team just like that.
Yeah.
Well,
Good. Thank God. I'm tired of Ronda. I'm tired.
apparently Ronda's tired of wrestling, so they had to do something.
Good.
She's not getting the crowd reaction she thinks she's supposed to get.
No. She's never had the heart for it.
Well, apparently she according to the dirt sheets, if they're to be believed, she told WWE that she's leaving at a specific date. So they had to make this turn.
Yeah, probably after SummerSlam. So
yeah. So I think they're gonna rush this build with her and Shayna.
And I do like Shayna. One of my all-time favorite promos is when she promoted against Becky after she got pregnant. Like basically telling down Seth Rollins because I'm not crazy about Seth Rollins. It's like, did you see your husband? You know, she gave a shrug. I'm like, oh man, that's cold.
Yeah, well, she's a babyface now because everybody hates Ronda.
So I give it. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna give Forbidden Door C-, and then I'm gonna give this show a C. I think C+ is a little too high for this show.
I agree. It sounds.
So I'll give it a C. Forbidden Door C. I'm not giving the same rating as Forbidden.
I gave this one a C+. If a match is what it's supposed to be, I kind of rate it well. And this show had a lot of matches that were what they're supposed to be. Brock should have beat Cody.
Yeah.
So I mean that was what it was supposed to. That was what it should have been. Rhea should squash Natalya. That was what it should have been.
Yeah.
Gunther and Mustafa Ali. That was exactly what it should have been. So like though they weren't bad matches, but they weren't good. They were just this is what they should be. And then with the Saudi shows, you always kind of gotta like with a grain of salt because you know the Saudis would say, "Hey, we want this person on the show," and you gotta find a way to shoehorn them in. So I mean, it is what it is. I gave it a C+. It was fine. I'm not going back to watching.
Cameron is for that name for that show because we say that you don't know how unconsciously we say that all the time. It is what it is.
Right.
It is what it is.
It is what it is. So the next show is from May 28th, AEW's Double or Nothing.
Refresh my memory.
I'm bringing that back to you. This show was again one of the worst AEW pay-per-views ever.
Yeah, this show. I saw AEW stand I think even like LV 54 wasn't even still in this show.
Yeah, I saw he was just kind of like this was a rough show. The pre-show had the Hardys defeating Ethan Page and the Gun.
Oh, that's the one where Jeff slipped, right?
Yeah, that's what Jeff watched again.
After all these years, even with the shoes, like Jeff, buddy,
he should not be. But this is again AEW allowing people's worst natures to take precedent in their company. This is sad. Orange Cassidy won the Battle Royal.
Yes.
The Battle Royal.
Pointless battle.
His championship.
I'm not gonna lie, I skipped that match.
You didn't miss anything. Oh God. Adam Cole defeated Chris Jericho.
Oh man, that match.
I wanted to forget about that match. You reminded me.
I was like, man, I was watching this match, and then I was just like, man, when is this match going to end? It was like one of those no DQ matches, and it was just
it was the first ever unsanctioned match that ended in a sanction.
It was one of the most boring like no DQ type of matches I've ever seen. I was like,
that was a really bad
match. I honestly forgot about it. This was
crazy. He went from that match to challenging for the title. I'm like,
Exactly.
Okay.
Makes no sense. But continuing on. FTR defeated Jeff Jarrett and Jay Lethal.
Oh God.
It's Mark Briscoe as a special guest referee.
Jay Lethal needs to I'm on my own, guys. Bye bye, Double J.
I would say this: the match was respectable, though. But
It's FTR.
It was a Jeff Jarrett match.
Yeah, FTR too. They're professionals.
it was a respectable match, but just the clown show of Karen Jarrett and see Biscuit, somebody horse out the stable.
Yeah. Like Sarah Jessica Parker.
On title, you man, you can't be talking about my MILF Karen Jarrett.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Karen Jarrett hit Aubrey Edwards in the head with the guitar, which should be his qualification, but who cares? It's just a championship match for the tag team.
While the Adam Cole and Jericho match ended in an unsanctioned match.
I mean, compared to the rest of this card, that match was respectable. Oh God, this was so bad. Wardlow beat Christian Cage in the ladder match.
It should have been Christian.
Well, it is now.
Well, technically, Luchasaurus won it. Yeah.
So, they've cooled
Can
off.
we skip that match?
he hasn't even said the sentence. But he's like, I know what it is.
It was like
that was awful.
I was dozing off during that match, and I'm like, one of the most boring ladder matches I've ever seen.
It was bad.
Wardlow
did the little Jeff Hardy swan time from the ladder and almost missed him, almost killed himself. What? Why is he on top of ladders doing swanton bombs? He was over with the Power Bomb Symphony. This is not necessary. I'm not getting into this. Wardlow's not nearly as over as he used to be. It is because they let him do bad stuff.
The highest of the high and the lowest of the lows in the span of 8 months. Remarkable.
Makes no sense. Tony Storm beat Jamie Hayter in the Jamie Hayter's Hurt match, so we got to change the belt. The House of Black defeated the Acclaimed and Billy Gunn. Jade Cargill defeated Taya Valkyrie. And then Chris Statlander came out like a heel would and challenged Jade Cargill. And Jade Cargill, like a fighting babyface champion, took on the match and lost to a returning Chris Statlander in 50 seconds. MJF won the Four Pillars match. And
that match, I caught some flack for saying this. I was like, man, that Four Pillars match, I'm like, bro, that's like a fucking WCW cruiserweight match from back in the day.
Yes. You're not alone with that, Josh.
I'm like, man, I said this, man. I think we're at the point where it's going to be some guys are just going to be smaller challenging for the title. Yeah. And that's fine. I don't need to see force. MJF, and I'm not saying he's small because he's not built. He's just short.
Yeah, he's just short. Yeah.
But he got a good physique. But, we don't need to see 4 small guys competing for a heavyweight title. I'm sorry, man. Seeing flip-dee-doo, flip-dee-die. You had a title match where 3 of the guys in the title match were not even 200 pounds, bro.
Right.
I'm like, no, man, that's too many little guys.
Not even close to 200 pounds.
Yeah.
That's too many little guys competing for your heavyweight title.
Because the match is so pointless, this is some fancy booking. If you would have picked one of those guys to face MJF, who would you have picked?
That'd have been fine. It'd have been Darby Allin. I would have, because they were having the most chemistry.
Darby.
And they've had a
good promos with each other. But I don't like. I 3 guys under 200 pounds competing for a heavyweight title, and they're doing flips and dives and all over the place. The match itself was it was a good match.
It's coherent. Yeah, I give it that at least.
I didn't think it was good. I thought it was okay. I didn't think it was good. I thought they did way too many 4-man spots where it's like, all right, I'm gonna do your finisher. 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 All right, let's stand in a circle. I'm gonna punch him, and then you're gonna punch him. Then I'm gonna punch him. Then you're gonna punch him. Like they did a lot of 4-man spots, which made no sense. It's just like, all right, we're just gonna keep doing this to each other. Like if I'm standing in the circle, in the square, and these dudes is punching each other, I'm just gonna move out the way. Why would I stand there and watch somebody turn to me, punch me, then turn around to this dude and punch? You can do the 1-2 with somebody. You can't do the 1-2 with 4 people. It's stupid. I had a lot of problems with that match. But it told a great story. They did their mentor's finisher. So what?
Yeah.
So what? It would have been fine, but it's like, all right, I'm gonna do my mentor's finisher. Now I'm gonna do my mentor's finisher. Now I'm gonna do my mentor's finisher. It doesn't mean anything when everybody does it. That match bothered me. But that's just me. What do I know? I'm just a commentator. And then the last match was Anarchy in the Arena. Blackpool.
Oh God. Okay.
Again, this was one of the worst pay-per-views I've ever seen. This was worse than Forbidden Door to me. This is awful.
If a rock song overplays pretty much the whole match, you know it's a bad match, and they knew it's going to be a bad match.
This isn't the first time Jericho has done that.
No, but still, it's not good.
And that rock song was bad. It was ridiculous. Like the live thing, it was that the whole thing about that sucked.
Yeah. To me, it was the worst match I've seen this year.
And Danielson got hurt in that kind of match last year. And so he's in the match this year, but he's not really doing anything because they don't want him to get hurt.
Same with Claudio. Claudio didn't stand out. Nobody stood out, even though there was crap happening.
It was just nonsense. I already don't like those type of matches, and then there's a lot of people in this match that I just don't care for. Everything about this just screamed like, ugh.
So I wanted to, so is Take Your Shit part of the Blackpool Combat Club or what?
He's going to have to be because Danielson's hurt. So who's going to?
I'm watching Dynamite right now. He's interacting with them.
So they're recruiting him again.
He's going to have to be because Danielson's hurt. So how are they going to do blood and guts without Danielson?
Hey, we're sorry. We're sorry. I'm Moxley. I want to be friends with you. Who's talking to him? Like Wheeler? The bland guy is doing the talking? Oh, this is awful.
I couldn't care less. Double or Nothing was really, 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 really bad. Really, 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 really bad.
And we just mentioned the how Forbidden Door was so bad. I totally forgot about the whole.
This was a D+ card.
I'll give it a D.
This was a D+ at best, and that's me being generous. There's not one match on here that I thought oh, this is good.
I remember you had a lot to say about this one. I remember now. Oh man,
it sucked.
Yeah,
from the beginning, it's just bad. It was bad. The first thing we see is Jeff Hardy nearly giving himself a concussion. Then there's Orange Cassidy in the Battle Royal.
Unnecessary Battle Royal.
A really bad Adam Cole and Chris Jericho match with Sabu doing one goofy bump and then being nowhere to be seen.
I forgot about Sabu too. Oh man, I totally blocked a lot of my memory.
FTR, the tag match was probably the best match on the card, and that was mid. The fans were really happy to see the Acclaim and wanted the Acclaim to win, but they lost. So let's stomp on them again. Jade Cargill lost, and we haven't seen her since. MJF won, and now he's in a bad feud with Adam Cole. And then the back of it's a D+, and I'm probably talking myself into a D. This was one of the worst pay-per-views I've seen in a long time.
Damn.
I'm getting away from this. It's just giving me gas. So the next one is WrestleMania Backlash.
Backlash, Puerto Rico.
Puerto Rico.
Now let's talk about a good pay-per-view. Let's talk about B plus. I'm betting.
Well,
that was a good show. It started out hot with the Bianca and Io match.
Yeah. Well, first we have to give a lot of credit to the crowd because the crowd was hot all night, and they made this card so much better. So shout out to Puerto Rico and their card. I would love to see them go back to Puerto Rico because this was outstanding. Io Sky was heavily over in Puerto Rico, and it was good to see Bianca do a couple heel things in the match to prove that she can kind of go with the crowd a little bit. I did enjoy seeing that, and I'd argue they had the best match of the night.
That was up there between them and Damian Priest and Bad Bunny.
Yeah. I give a slight nod to Io because Io booking wise, even including NXT, has been super impressive. Like Triple H exactly knows where to put her and how to like show her when, because she doesn't speak too much dialogue. It's honestly a study on itself. It's pretty smart. So I give a lot of credit to Triple H with that regard. And like convincing Vince, they also show to convince Vince, like this is a star. Like this has been a star. So yeah.
Seth Rollins defeated Omos, which was a better match than I expected.
One of the best Omos matches. Yep.
Omos is coming along. It's taken a while, but he's starting to come along now.
Is he hurt or something? Because I haven't seen him in a while.
I haven't seen him in a while either. I don't know.
It might be training. You know what? Maybe they're like, you know what? Let's take it. We'll put you back before you need it.
Well, he's kind of like a special attraction, I would think.
Yeah.
So if you don't really have a reason to have him out there, I don't really see why they'd have him.
After SummerSlam.
Almost had a couple of good matches. He had a good match with Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania.
Yep.
He had a good match with Seth Rollins. So.
Yeah. So he's starting to come along.
Ooh. So if he gets like a good couple months, maybe against Walter or Gunther, I like to see that. Like give him a steady little rise. So
maybe
it's a big maybe, but it's one of those things where if he's doing good, there you go.
I don't think you're pulling a match out of him. Austin Theory defeated Bobby Lashley and Bronson Reed. That match was all right. It didn't last long, but I mean, just Rhea Ripley defeated Zelina Vega, which was a good match. It was what it should be.
Yeah. Yep. It gave more respect for Zelina. Zelina also similar, almost having a nice steady build, bouncing back. Now with LWO and showing her heritage more, and they would have been fools not to put her in that show. That's smart, very smart call. And even against Ray, it's still a good match.
Smart call. She held up her end. It was what it was. Again, it was like big woman, little woman. Zelina had her moments. The crowd was behind her. Rhea cut her off. Rhea won. Everybody, it was what it was. Happy with it. Bad Bunny defeated Damian Priest in the street fight, which was
but it was a match. Even though Bad Bunny won, it didn't make Damian Priest look bad because
it didn't hurt.
Bad Bunny didn't just go out there and just start hitting a whole bunch of moves on him. He did he took out the legs, chopped the monster down.
Yeah.
And
there was a lot of interference.
Yeah.
So,
but in the way Bad Bunny wrestled in this match, he had some good coaching because he wrestled like taking away the body parts and stuff, but did it in a way a babyface would do it and not a heel would do it.
right.
Because a lot of times when you get the body parts and you're attacking the body parts, it's usually a heel type tactic. With Bad Bunny, because he's the smaller guy and the underdog, he's more wrestling smart than it is wrestling like a heel.
Yeah, and plus he's playing with the crowd. He's playing Puerto Rico, and that's
Yeah.
where hardcore wrestling was invented in a weird sense.
Yeah.
So yeah.
But it was a lot of good. It was some overbooking, but it was overbooking done right. Because this is the type of match you want to have, that type of stuff, because Bad Bunny and David Priest, he really shouldn't stand no chance against Damian Priest. And not just because Damian Priest is a wrestler, because Damian Priest is a fucking huge ass dude, man.
Yeah.
Like he's a legit 6'8", 270 pounds. Like that's a big dude.
Yeah.
Like I've seen him in person before, man. He's like pause, but he's a huge dude, man. Like that's, like
It makes me curious where he's going to cash it in. And Backlash is months before when he won it, and like I mentioned in the Money in the Bank, that's his comeuppance. That's
like that might have been the match where they like, okay, because this is what I think happened. I think Damian Priest was a happy meeting between Triple H and Vince.
Oh yeah,
because we all know Vince wanted Logan Paul.
Yeah.
Vince wanted Logan Paul to win that thing. And I think Triple H probably wanted LA Knight.
Yeah.
So I think Vince and Triple H were like, okay, we both want different guys, but who is somebody that we can agree on? And then Damian Priest was the guy that they could both agree on, be like, okay.
I can see that.
That's a good call. Yeah.
We know the other guys in that match, like Ricochet. I'm sorry. Ricochet. I'm actually gonna call him Ricochet because he was able to pull Samantha Irvin, so I gotta give him some props.
Yeah, he's similar, Ali. He's one of those guys that's definitely like, you're good, you're very good.
Well,
Man,
Ali has a lot more charisma than Ricochet.
Yeah, but it's a talent.
Ricochet is a charisma vacuum.
Yeah. So we all knew Ricochet, Butch, Nakamura, and Escobar. We know they ain't having. I had a better chance. I had a better chance of having a threesome with Rihanna and Beyonce than them dudes winning that match.
Compared to poor Nakamura, he hasn't had a groove in a while too. So it's like, yeah.
I'm gonna talk like Ty. I had a better chance of making it stank with Rihanna and Beyonce.
I think in BJ day. Oh.
Yeah, there was no way they were gonna win. Like they have guys in those matches that are just there to do high spots. Ricochet and Santos were just there to do the high spots. We know that. That was cool. The Bloodline, which was Solo, Jay, and Jimmy, defeated Matt Riddle, Kevin Owens, and Sami Zayn by pinfall.
I felt like it was like a Monday Night Raw match.
It felt like a Raw match to me too, especially with Matt Riddle being in there. I mean,
man, I know neither one of us are the biggest Randy Orton fans, but I hope Randy Orton last WWE memory is not with the bro man.
Yeah, I agree.
You know,
I hope he can get healthy and get one more run before he calls it quits.
Yeah, I don't want RK Bro to be his last thing.
Even like an Undertaker thing against John Cena for that one.
They say his injury serious though, man.
Yeah.
Like something with the back, right?
Yeah. Back, shoulder.
He's already had shoulder issues, but like
he could probably wrestle, but he could risk getting paralyzed or something.
Especially with his moveset, especially with the RKO, where he uses the back. Yeah.
Well, he's a smooth wrestler, but I mean, it's kind of like what John Cena said, and what was that? Was it Busted Open?
Yeah.
Or something where he was like, I just can't go out there and do it anymore. My body just can't take it. So he goes out there and does the match that he does, and that's all he can do.
Yeah.
And I mean, if that's what Randy Orton can do, that's what Randy Orton can do.
Yeah, and it's not like back in the day where you could go out there and you could just have the nostalgia match,
Right.
and everybody's happy just because you're there. Like, no, the bar got raised so much now that if you come back, the fans want you to actually be able to perform in that ring.
Yeah.
And that's
Not
what
like, oh, you could, like you like Hogan, you could just
Right.
do a couple of big boots and then a leg drop, and then you go home, get your check.
Very few people can do that. John Cena's match at WrestleMania was the perfect example of that. John Cena went out there, did the typical John Cena call it in the ring match, and that was it. But he's so over with the crowd, they were happy.
Yeah, there was some people, a little vocal minority that was complaining, but most people were happy that they just got to even. Just like that crowd in London, man, they blew the fucking roof off just the fact that he was there. He didn't have to do shit, man. That's what you want to get as a wrestler, whether you're AEW, WWE, wherever you're at. You want to get that fucking over, man.
Yeah.
And then maybe you can have a career after wrestling. You don't have to be necessarily a movie star or anything like that, but you could have other stuff. Companies might want to hire you, do endorsements and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
You could probably do a little bit of acting.
Yeah, I mean, he created that pipeline into the acting world. So, I mean, we know Roman's going to be there soon.
Yeah, Seth Rollins already getting started in it, man.
Seth Rollins is getting started in it. I think Bianca's going to be there soon.
Yeah, because like the wrestlers, man, it like you got have, even though I might talk about certain wrestlers, I got respect for anybody that gets in that ring though.
Right.
Because it takes a toll. Because Ken Shamrock, UFC tough guy. Mm-hmm. He told people WWE is way more taxing on his body than anything he did in the UFC.
Yeah, he did say that.
He said it's not even freaking close. He said he got injured way more in WWE than he did in UFC. And you talking about Ken Shamrock was in the early days of UFC where they didn't have the weight divisions. Like you could be his size and fight someone like 300-400 pounds and shit.
Oh yeah.
I mean, look, UFC, you got a match once every 3, 6, 12 months, maybe.
Yeah.
Train for it's 25 minutes, you're done. In wrestling, you're especially back then, you were wrestling 4 or 5 nights a week. Every week.
Yeah. Yep.
So that's crazy.
Don't get to see your family.
Right. Body's taking a beating like that. That's a totally different monster.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. People talk about Roman, man. I'm glad Roman can get a schedule like it because he was a workhorse, man. He was a workhorse for like 6-7 years, man, straight, man. And then I remember people thought he faked cancer and all that type of shit, man. I'm like, man,
nobody fakes that.
That was the dumbest shit I ever.
Yeah,
thought.
I heard that.
Like people was like, first off, do you think WWE would even risk that all these fucking partnerships that they got? They're risking that for one guy. No,
that's ridiculous.
Freaking ridiculous, especially the fact that it's not like WWE's going out of freaking business or anything like that. There wasn't no AEW around back then or anything like that. They had no freaking competition. That
bought out the competition at one point.
Like that, they got come on now. Like what purpose would they have to let somebody fake cancer? Come on now.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, but it was idiots out there that thought that shit was true.
They were.
I could tell, but the way I knew Roman was going through it, when Roman did not have any gray hair before that shit happened.
Agreed. Yeah.
Like literally, he came back like 4 or 5 months later. That man had gray in that beard. That little gray on a little bit on the edges. I'm like, he was stressing.
Yeah, that ain't no joke, man.
Yeah.
Anybody that's known anybody that's going through cancer, they don't joke about that. So shout out to Roman for coming through on that.
Yeah, man.
Last match on the card was Brock and Cody, where Cody won.
That was a controversial finish because some people did not like the finish. I felt like I loved the finish because it allowed to what was going to happen at the next pay-per-view where they continue to match. I don't say like you just have Cody just go out there and just beat him definitively, man, and then think, okay, we need to see another match. Like, no, like he to beat him definitively. Like, no. And then plus, when you're someone like the fluke win works against a guy like Brock Lesnar too.
Yeah.
Brock Lesnar is just so much more physically opposing than other guys. It's like for example, they had Drew McIntyre beat Brock definitively. You know, Roman Reigns kind of beat him definitively, but those guys, size-wise and stature-wise, match up with Brock a lot more than someone like Cody does. So it makes more sense for Cody to kind of get that fluke win.
Mm-hmm.
Like Seth Rollins was a similar situation. He fucking low blowed him, then he hit like 3 stomps or some shit like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
To beat him, so like those guys like that size, they shouldn't be beating Brock Lesnar just straight up. Like no,
not a shooter.
That's why Cody and Brock match is the next one is gonna have some sort of stipulation or something. So
yeah.
I was fine with this match. I felt like Brock he sold well. You could tell like Brock. I always tell Jamaal this, man. I said when Brock gives a shit, man, he is one of the best performers. Yeah. Not this generation. I'm talking about ever.
Yes, absolutely.
He is one of the best performers ever because all his shit, like, and especially, like I remember when he first started, like when he was young, and like those shoulder charges he does in the fucking turnbuckle looks like he killing somebody, man.
Yeah,
it is. But one thing about Brock that I like now versus like when he came back, Brock was a lot kind of reckless back then, and when he first came back, kind of reckless. Brock has become a much better worker as far as like safety. He's not out there like hurting guys and stuff anymore. He's more protecting guys stuff now. So, and he still got that same intensity.
Yeah, and he's working with guys that could match him.
Yeah,
right? He's not working with Bray Wyatt.
They wasn't doing that shit, man. I don't like it. That work for me, brother. LA Knight did that bullshit and he still got over, man.
LA Knight survived Bray Wyatt. He deserves a lot just for doing that.
Surviving Bray Wyatt. Like, I was about to say something R. Kelly related for a second, but I'm gonna be quiet.
Well, he's got a nice wife, so at least he has somebody to go home to.
Yeah, he Bray Wyatt got good thing going on, man. But it'd be interesting if we ever see him again. But as far as the show, what you guys give it? I give it like a solid B. I give it like a solid B. I don't think it was good as WrestleMania, but I think out of all the premium live events, whether between Money in the Bank and
Night of Champions
show, I think it was the best out of those 3.
I agree. I give it a solid B as well. That was what I was thinking. So solid B. It was a good card. The fans really made it into something even better. So I hate the name WrestleMania Backlash, but it was
they changed it back to just regular Backlash, I think.
Oh, they just changed it to regular Backlash.
Yeah, it was Backlash. It wasn't WrestleMania Backlash.
Oh, okay. I mean, good card. Jack, what would you give it?
Oh, the overall B plus, A minus. Definitely one of the best live crowds ever in WWE history. And to point out with Josh's point with when Brock gives a shit, and it's also like when Brock is sold, and Brock has been sold with Cody for this run. So yeah, it's pretty good. Then the other aspect is that when Brock doesn't give a shit, it's against John Moxley. But when he gives a shit, it's against Daniel Bryan or people like that. So,
well, he proved Moxley has proven him to be right.
Yes, yes.
We see the type of stuff Moxley wanted to do, and that match was some sort of no disqualification match.
Yeah.
So we see the type of stuff Moxley wanted to do. Brock just said nah.
Yeah.
And we see why. Why? So what needed?
So we on the preview section now. The next shows.
So okay. One more review. Quick review. The debut of AEW Collision.
Okay.
So that was a couple weeks ago.
I like the debut of Collision. I like all the Collision so far, honestly. Like, to me, it's like, is there different people booking it? Because I think, now, to me, the commentary was rough on the first Collision show.
Mm-hmm.
But the Kevin Kelly night got better than the last two shows.
Yeah, but overall, they've been like refreshing and different, and
yeah, it's definitely better than listening to it freaking Excalibur.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought Collision, the debut came off well. They started with CM Punk having a live mic, which is what they should have done. Of course, law of diminishing returns is not going to be as good the second time around as it was the first. But he still cut a great promo. So he was in Chicago. He talked about stuff that we wanted to hear him talk about. And that was good.
Yeah, so he had definitely a great promo. One thing I've noticed about Collision is it seemed like they have a lot more heavyweights wrestling on that show.
Yeah.
Than they do on Dynamite.
Yeah.
So guys like Luchasaurus, Wardlow, Powerhouse Hobbs on there, Miro. So it seems like some of the big guys are going to start getting some more love on that show.
Speaking of, the first match was Luchasaurus defeating Wardlow for the TNT title.
Yep. And now Christian being the quote unquote placeholder. Or
as we should call it, the hot potato title.
Yep.
Because that thing gets passed around more than a Kardashian. So,
yeah, it is.
More than Big Show being face and heel.
They kept the title on Powerhouse Hobbs, man. Like, why did they cut his reign so short? And
they cut his reign short to give it back to Wardlow for him to lose in a couple of weeks to Luchasaurus.
I think Luchasaurus is going to keep it a long time because I don't think Christian's going to allow him to defend it that much. That's how they're going to like.
I think so too. That's funny. I mean, that match was not very good to me.
No.
Poor Wardlow.
Yeah, man, he was over like Rover, and then
yeah. I remember way back before any of that, like Jim Cornette was talking, and they asked him what should Wardlow do, and he started giving out Vince McMahon's phone number.
Yes. That was recent. Vince loves him big boys.
Yeah.
And
But I know one thing though. I talked to Jamaal about this. If he was running WWE, Vince wouldn't have him in that singlet.
no, not at all.
Nah.
He would not have him.
He is not a singlet guy, man. Don't look good on him.
It'd probably be like Goldberg or Ryback, kind of like it's Trunks. I can see that.
Ryback had a singlet.
Ryback had a singlet.
Yeah.
Ryback had a
Oh,
singlet.
Ryback had a singlet. Yeah.
But
Like,
yeah,
I look at him and then I look at like Brian Breaker. Like Brian Breaker, he's a singlet guy.
yeah.
He's small, small and compact. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, no, he's a heel now, so he has to wear black.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, so let's take a departure to NXT real quick. Like, why is he still there?
SummerSlam. It has to be SummerSlam.
I guess he's starting a feud with Ilya Dragunov now.
Maybe one more send off, at least to get Dragunov over. Like I had to remind my one friend because he's like, I don't get the deal with Gunther. I'm like, watch the match against Gunther and Dragunov. Overall, like maybe he's trying to elevate Carmelo Hayes, which he did, which he brilliantly did too, and then now Dragunov. So
Dragunov, people were saying that Dragunov had one of the matches of the year with Donovan Dijak. Dragunov is fine.
That one as well. Yes.
I just don't know why they insist on keeping him down there.
Yeah, I don't either. Nothing he can really do. Like it's just a waste. Honestly,
yeah. It's a waste for him. I feel bad for him.
I was watching the highlights. They had Gabe Stevenson. He's gonna be controversial because
I saw that
some stuff that he got caught up in.
He got a Me Too charge.
Update me. Which wrestler are you talking about?
Gabe Stevenson. He's an Olympic gold wrestler.
Him. Yeah.
Yeah, but I saw like a clip of him on NXT. He was hitting some German suplex. Bro, that boy has some beautiful German suplexes.
Beautiful German suplexes, man.
And
the overhead belly.
I was like, holy shit.
Yeah. That dude he's got something, but I mean, look, Austin Theory had those Me Too charges on him too, and he's kind of gotten over it a bit. So, I mean, we'll see.
We'll see, but I don't know if you're gonna see us walking. I think he wants to try to get back in the Olympics again.
Yeah, I saw that. I mean, good luck to Gabe Stevenson, but brother, you black, so what Austin Theory did, you can't do. So,
yeah.
I hope you don't end up like the Velveteen Dream
or Rich Swann.
Rich Swann's fine. Oh yeah, he had that domestic violence thing.
But it was like one of those things where they immediately fired him, didn't think twice about it. Compared to, it's hypocritical.
Yeah. Well,
yeah, Velveteen Dream was gonna be big time, man, and he just.
Yep. He became a little bit crazy and a little bit nothing that crazy there, unfortunately.
That man was going to be a star, and he messed it all up.
Yep.
He tried to drag EC3 down. It's like, come on, bro.
Yeah, bro. You can't be. It's bad enough you mess up your career, but you're gonna kill any chance of coming to come back. You become a snitch, man.
Yeah, that's the thing. And EC3 been out of NXT, just let him be. That was cheap shot.
They had talk of like them reaching out back to him and thinking about bringing him back, and then he got in trouble again.
Yeah.
So it's just like, dude, you ruined your career, and I feel bad for him because he was a talent, and I really enjoyed him. What was it? Weren't we at that NXT takeover with him and Ricochet?
The first Chicago one. Yeah, that was beautiful. And
he was good on there. He was great on there. He was great on Tough Enough. Like he had so much talent. He was going to be something, and he decided to.
He's still young. He's only like 26, 27 or something. Man.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know, man. You're gonna be working at Walmart soon, I guess. Get yourself some help, man. Get off that powder, and hopefully you could. You're done in wrestling, but hopefully you could regain your life.
Yeah.
Yes.
Next match on the Collision card was Buddy Matthews and Andrade El Idolo.
Dasha called him Buddy Murphy.
And Dasha did call him Buddy Murphy. It's not her fault. She's in WWE.
I was afraid Vince might try to do something petty and try to sue their ass. Gimmick infringement. But this is how you know Vince doesn't watch that fucking product.
He does not watch it. He does not care. But they had a great match. They had a very good match. It was good to see them be able to show off their talents and their wives' finishers.
Yes.
Girlfriends' finishers. So, strong match. To me, that really kind of set the tone of what Collision is going to be. More so than the Wardlow match and whatnot. Next one was Miro versus Tony Nese. Miro won in a squash, as he should.
As it should, just bringing Miro back.
Yep.
Get someone that isn't like a job guy, so it's not like he's just beating some just nobody, but not someone in the ring that's going to be competitive with him either. So
Not somebody that's figured in at all.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, I forgot this match.
Tony Nese, I don't understand why they don't do nothing with him. He's like some of these, like, I hate to get back on the size thing, but like some of these guys, man, with just some of these super unimpressive physiques or something, man. Like this guy, Tony Nese, pause, but has a good look.
Mm-hmm.
And he can actually talk.
Yeah, he's not bad.
Yeah, and he can work in the ring. Like, why they're not doing anything with him? Like, I don't hear any AEW fans complaining about them not doing anything with him. But when he was in WWE,
right? Yep, that's true.
They like, oh, they're not doing anything. Tony Nese is so talented. But what is he doing in AEW right now?
He's a jobber.
Same thing with Roderick Strong.
Jobber. Anybody with Mark Sterling is automatic death. So he's a jobber. But Tony Nese has talent, man. I wish they did something more with him, but
like why they can't put him on ROH or something, man?
Why not? I don't know. I don't know what they're doing. That whole Ring of Honor thing is very weird.
Yeah, it'll never make sense, even years later.
He could definitely be the ROH champion over there, man.
Yeah. No, because it's got to be Claudio.
Yeah.
So
I'm not saying right now. I'm talking about like the future ROH.
I know. But, I mean, let's look at the ROH champions they've had since they revived it. They've had Chris Jericho, Claudio Castagnoli, and that's it.
And then Samoa Joe has been the singular pure champion, right?
Was the TV champion.
TV.
Yeah, none of the ROH originals are winning the title.
No, the pure champion is Shibata.
Okay, yeah, there you
go. Shibata. It was Daniel Garcia, then Wheeler Yuta won, and then Shibata. Something like that. Yeah, because it's good to have this dude who had his brain replaced be your Ring of Honor champion.
That's why Jonathan Gresham got the hell up out of there.
Yeah.
He knew the politics that was about to happen.
He saw what was going to happen and got up out of there.
Yep. And that's real politics.
Yeah, Gresham knew he didn't stand a shot. So he got up out of there. While we're on the subject, very disappointed that Moose re-signed with Impact.
Yeah. That guy's a star.
I was disappointed that Moose signed with Impact. I was disappointed that Nick Aldis signed with Impact as well.
I heard that Triple H wanted Nick Aldis.
I bet, or
Got
even
that
NXT.
hiring freeze. So I think he kind of took a short-term deal with Impact.
It's the highest paid there, right? If I'm not mistaken.
I don't know. All I know is, according to the dirt sheets, Triple H wanted Nick Aldis, and Nick Aldis was going to come to WWE, but they got put on a hiring freeze. And so since they're on a hiring freeze, Nick Aldis is taking that short-term money at Impact.
Yeah, he hasn't caught a break either. Yeah.
He hasn't. He did a lot for NWA, and NWA just, I don't know what happened to him, but they went down the tubes.
Billy
Man, NWA, when they first came back with the NWA, man, they had some talent, man.
It was a great show.
They had Nick Aldis, they had Eddie Kingston,
Thunder
Ricky
Rosa.
Stark,
Thunder Rosa,
Thunder Rosa, James Storm. I think Marty Scurll eventually came over there.
Marty Scurll was in there, and I think
before he got Me Too'd.
Yeah.
Oh.
They had a lot of guys. And somebody, I bet Eli Drake was over there.
Yep.
Man, they had a roster, bro.
A lot of talent, man, and it was good. The show was good. You had Jim Cornette on commentary.
Until they did that bullshit with it.
Yeah. That was such a good show, man. That was really good television. And then they took it on Fight and put it behind a paywall. And I said, no, I'm not doing this.
No.
And it just went. And then AEW started stealing all their talent.
AEW took some of their talent. And my thing is, the AEW took talent. Why they ain't try to get Camille, man?
I don't understand. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm like Camille, she's fucking better than Statlander, bro.
Yeah.
Or should I call Botchlander?
Yeah.
I don't know why WWE ain't never tried to get her. Like, she's perfect fit for WWE.
Yeah, I can see that.
So she's married to Charlotte's ex, or she's dating Charlotte's ex.
Oh, really? Oh boy.
Tom Latimer was with Charlotte. I think he was the one that she accused that was accused of beating on her.
Oh, wow. Speaking of Me Too, wow.
Maybe. It could have been somebody else. I could be wrong. I don't want to. I don't want to put that on Latimer.
She's on the third husband, so.
Right. I do know that she was with him previous.
And Charlotte Flair, she trying to be just like her daddy at championship reigns and marriages.
Mm-hmm.
Hey.
Poor Charlotte. Next match. Oh, I forgot this happened. The Outcast versus Sky Blue and Willow Nightingale.
Oh my God, man! The internet was fucking just creepy, weird with Sky Blue, man, because she showed a little ass or something, man.
Yeah.
They got great motherfuckers act like, man, they ain't never seen a woman in their life when they saw that shit.
Yeah,
she was on her tippy toes. It made it look bigger than it was.
Yeah. And plus she did that RJ City interview. It was like dynamite waiting to happen with her.
Making Chicago look bad. We got more swag than that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I completely forgot about that match, but Sky Blue.
It was decent. It
was all right. I'm not going to say it was terrible. It was all right. Then CMFTR versus Samoa Joe, Jay White, and Juice Robinson.
Good match.
That was a really good 6-man tag match.
Very good.
Yeah.
That was one of the better 6-man tag matches I've seen in a long time.
And it finally gave Juice Robinson and little Jay White. Well, like this isn't his finisher lethal blade or something.
About this. We were talking about like who jumps off your screen more, Jay White or Juice Robinson? I was saying Juice Robinson, man. Juice Robinson.
Juice.
He feels like the bigger star.
Yeah.
If you're somebody that hasn't watched New Japan, and you just watch AEW, Juice Robinson seems like the bigger star. But they don't hear that. They get so mad when you say that. But it's true.
Yeah, Juice Robinson, he kind of got like some of that lunatic, crazy. Like, you actually believe this motherfucker's crazy, man.
Yeah. You have people blowing up my mentions.
Nah, I kind of threw you up in there. I always throw you up in there when I need somebody to defend me. I just end up tagging you.
especially if you're trolling that.
So I definitely always tag him if I'm about to do something that's going. There's this guy on Twitter we follow named Rockstar Blaze.
Yeah,
Rockstar Blaze.
This guy is like so biased when it comes to his favorites.
It's not even funny.
So like, I always tag him like if I'm going against one of Rockstar Blaze's favorites.
And it lasts all day long.
Threads upon threads.
All day long.
No, that ain't nothing though. The long, what used to be the longest is we getting off track. It's not about wrestling. You remember Raekwon O?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
If you said anything about Tom Brady, oh my God,
he was on your head.
So he was the ultimate shield of Tom Brady.
But knowing you never would fold though. So
you know I'm not gonna fold. You know I'll go all day.
You and him would literally have threads that would go on for like days, man.
You know I ain't gonna fold.
You fall asleep, you respond. It was like the golden age of Twitter. It was like 2012, man.
That was the golden age.
The innocence of Twitter back then. Yep.
Oh no, like those were the good days.
It wasn't all the agendas and politics like they got now.
Yeah. No.
Like
people just tweeting about stuff they like to do fun. The sports Twitter was a lot better back then.
Sports Twitter was a lot better. It was a lot more fun.
A lot more fun, yeah. Everybody. And Raekwon, man, he's biased, but that dude was cool though. I like him.
Yeah, I liked him. He was biased. He loved his Tom Brady. You couldn't say nothing bad about Brady. But he was cool.
I'll say this: he was one of those knowledgeable bias fans, though.
Yeah.
He wasn't one of those like just bias fans that's just dumb. You actually knew he knew what he was talking about, but he was just biased.
Yeah, incredibly biased. I'm okay with that. If you're knowledgeable and you're biased, then it is what it is. As long as you don't get gimmicky like Shannon Sharp or LeBron, it's cool.
They pulled up one of Shannon Sharp old tweets from like 2011. And they were asking like who's the greatest player of all time. He said, "There ain't no doubt, it's Michael Jordan."
Mm-hmm.
And then I don't even know if Shannon really thinks LeBron's the GOAT. I think he just I think he on the Clutch payroll.
It's a gimmick.
Yeah, like Clutch got people on the payroll, like Rachel Nichols, she's on the payroll.
Yeah.
Shannon Sharp on the payroll.
Brian Windhorst.
I think Nick Wright on the payroll.
Mm-hmm.
They're not going to say it, but there are certain people when it comes to LeBron and the media that
they got his back.
They got his back. Not all of them getting paid, but some of them motherfuckers getting paid.
For sure.
Rachel Nichols for sure getting paid, though.
Rachel Nichols getting bread. Absolutely.
And she's gotten heat for Jimmy Butler, but it's like,
yeah, whatever. Oh no, did we lose Josh?
I think so.
Okay, we'll try to get him back in a second. But well, that was pretty much all the previews.
Yeah, the only previews for SummerSlam. Well, the other ones I feel like we need a little bit more time because we're not sure of that build. That's gonna be the most chaotic booking match.
Yeah, they haven't really said anything about.
Oh, it's gonna be super bad.
All out.
Yeah. The only thing that makes sense is Ospreay versus Omega 3 if they do it.
I don't think they do. I think they might need to because Wembley's a big. It's a big stadium.
And Ospreay's from United Kingdom, if I'm not mistaken.
He is.
Yes, okay.
So that'll be cool.
To be honest, those are the only first 2 matches I've ever seen the guy.
Really? Well, I've seen some Osprey stuff.
It's like, yeah, like because of the magazines and stuff. I'm like, okay, they tell me it's good. And this is Dave Meltzer talking about. I'm like, I'll see it to believe it.
Osprey's good. I mean, look, he got some side. Welcome back.
And I'm back now.
Yeah. So Osprey used to be very, very small, but he gained weight. So he actually looks like a heavyweight now.
Reminds me a little bit of Logan Paul, at least stature wise. Yeah.
Yeah.
Too.
Osprey, he said he had to change the style, man, because he said the style, man, did so much damage to his body.
Yeah. Yeah, and he was smart. He could do all that crazy stuff, but he's better now with what he's doing.
Better than that match with him and Ricochet, man. I was like,
yeah.
Ugh.
And that spot with Ricochet, like it was definitely Logan Paul's call, but it was like Ricochet should have been smart, but like, okay, we're just doing a jump.
I mean, Ricochet can do that kind of stuff. Like in terms of like the high flying stuff, Ricochet is really, it could be one of the best.
One of the best. Don't get me wrong. It's just that particular spot with Logan. It should have been like an audible. Should have been like, okay, this is not going to work, bro.
No,
this is not going to work.
I thought it worked. I mean,
because
that's what they do.
It's Logan. It was Logan's call too. It was. So
that's what they do in those matches. So that's
Can't
why.
blame.
That is why Ricochet is in those matches.
Yeah,
it just didn't work out. If you're one person jumping on the rope from the ladder, you can get your balance. But when you have 2 people on there, that's
the thing.
Yeah, that just wasn't going to work out because it's too much. The weight distribution is just too unpredictable.
Yeah.
So now we're at the preview stage. So we previewing of All In and All Out, which we kind of discussed. They haven't really discussed anything about it. But like we said earlier, I think Adam Cole and MJF is going to be in Wembley.
Okay, there you go. That's another
one. CM Punk's going to have to be in there somewhere.
What did I miss?
Nothing. We were waiting for you. Now we're getting to the preview.
The preview.
Now we're getting to the previews.
So we're doing AEW first or WWE first?
AEW.
To get it out the way because they don't make any sense.
Like AEW has not announced like officially a match for that.
And I was just telling Jamaal, the only one that makes sense to me is Ospreay versus Omega 3.
All right, but before I get into the match, I will say they have sold the show really well as far as like tickets.
75,000 reported.
Yeah. Now we don't know how much of that is paid attendance. Though.
Right, exactly. Because it stalled out at 65 for a long time, and then all of a sudden it just got an extra 10. So
yeah, like
in the last like couple days, he just got an extra 10. So
that's kind of weird, but so they don't have a planned match, but I think we're definitely gonna get the Ospreay Omega again. I definitely think if Jamie Hayter's healthy, we're gonna have her and Tony Storm. Oh, tell me why. I was on Twitter earlier today, and somebody was talking about that match should main event that show. Well, I was like, you AEW stars and stuff like that. I was like, man,
no way.
That should be a creative. That should be a creative.
Even LV54, one of AEW's. I'll say this: he's not super Stanish, but he is somewhat Stanish.
He's a Stan, but you could try to talk a little more sense to him.
Yeah, you could tell he's actually a knowledgeable wrestler, man. He's not like
he's very knowledgeable.
Yeah,
and I was just about to say you should once I get AEW Fight Forever, if I do, or if I even play it, yeah, I'll create a character named AEW Stan.
I will get it as soon as it's on PlayStation Premium for free. I'm not spending money.
Not 1 cent.
You said not 1 cent on that motherfucker. But I was saying, man, you AEW stand foolish. I said the only match that was worthy or possibly main event a pay-per-view. It's like if you pull the trigger on Britt Baker and did Jamie Hayter. He came in my mentor. He was like, they were planning on pulling the trigger before she got hurt, but he said even honestly, that match is like good enough for like a Dynamite main event. He said that's not even good enough to be on a pay-per-view.
Right. It isn't.
Not to be main event. Sorry.
No, not at all.
Yeah, it's like somebody really said Tony Storm and then you have people in the mentors like, oh, why can't it main event? He said that people already bought the tickets. Why not take the risk? It's no big deal.
You're gonna burn. If you do that, then you give people that sort of main event. It's ruining your business.
Ruining your business, yep.
So you can't.
Next time you try to come, you ain't gonna sell as many tickets.
No, because you're gonna give me a crappy main event. No,
so it's just like Arthur Ashe. The second time around, they didn't sell as many tickets as the first time around.
Not nearly as much. Yeah, their ticket sales have been on the decline. So, even with the Collision debut, they had plenty of empty seats, man.
Yeah, and was it All In? It's good that they sold these tickets, but let's be real. Had WWE been consistently coming to that market, they wouldn't have sold all these damn tickets.
No.
They sold the tickets because WWE kind of ignored that market. And they're getting, a big wrestling show.
Well, they did. WWE sold what, like 65,000 tickets at Clash at the Castle?
Yeah, but I'm talking about particularly that market right there in London.
Yeah, so they're I think the O2 Arena is in London. It's just not Wembley.
Yeah.
So they got that. Then they just ran the O2 Arena just this week. So they haven't run that market as much as they should, but you shouldn't.
The Clash of Castle, that's Cardiff, Wales.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You're right. That was Wales. And the O2 Arena was London. So it's still part of the United Kingdom. They're all the same. But
Man,
you don't want to run stuff like that too much because you'll kill the territory.
Yeah.
So if you don't have anything big, then you don't do it.
Yeah.
I mean, so
it's like WWE, they get bids on them. Like AEW,
right.
they got to pay to go there.
Yeah.
They're getting they're people are paying WWE to run shows. They're getting money from Saudi Arabia. They got money from Puerto Rico. They got money from like they're getting paid to run these shows because of the business that it brings to town.
To their economy, yeah.
So yeah, there's a big difference between WWE getting paid and drawing 60,000 and AEW having to pay to be in Wembley and drawing 75. They're getting the business is just not the same. No. But still, congratulations to AEW for doing that. That's a big win for them, and hopefully
it's a big win for the wrestlers though. If you never wanted to go to WWE, but you wanted to feel like to be performing like in front of like a WrestleMania like crowd.
Yeah.
Like a big crowd. You'll finally, if you're on that card, you'll finally be able to feel what that is like without having to be at WWE. So I think that's cool.
Yeah, because I don't think they could run a stadium show in the US.
No.
Sell those kind of tickets. Like they're not running Jerry World and selling those kind of tickets.
Oh, hell no.
They're barely like Double or Nothing was in Vegas, and that was not a well-attended show, and that was a pay-per-view.
Well, because they're AEW just catering to like the vocal minority, man.
Yeah.
They're not they're catering to whatever just their fan base is, and that's it. That's why they haven't grown. Like they started out at the 1.4 million, and they've never even come close to reaching that ever again.
Yeah, not even close.
And the excuse was that, well, AEW hasn't been around that long on TV. Well, they're about to be on TV 4 years soon.
Yeah, you can't run that excuse forever.
No.
4 years is a long time.
Next year it'll be 5 years and they still won't reach it.
Yep. No, they're not going to reach it because it's the same thing. They only care about their hardcore fans.
Yeah. They don't care. Now, I'm not saying you have to go full entertainment like WWE or anything like that, but I'm just saying put some people at the top that look like I know a lot of people hate when I harp on this, but they use the heavyweights to push the smaller guys. Like they use the heavyweights to job them out to the smaller wrestlers.
Mm.
You have not, AEW has not had not one heavyweight that you legitimately thought was going to be the world champion.
Agreed.
Like I'm not necessarily saying they have to win the title. I'm just saying, like, so we've had Lance Archer, Brian Cage,
Miro.
Miro. No, I'm talking about guys that have actually gotten a title shot.
Oh, title.
Right.
Yeah, good call.
Lance Archer, Brian Cage. They haven't done Wardlow yet. They're going to do Wardlow.
They haven't done Wardlow. Are those only two like heavyweight guys that have gotten a title shot? I know it's somebody else. I can't think of it right now.
Archer, because those are always the stepping stones. Those are the male neither roses.
Yeah.
No, I think that's it.
Yeah. I think Luchasaurus might have got one on a Dynamite episode one time, but that might be it though.
Yeah, I think that's it.
Yeah. So like, they haven't had a guy that you legitimately thought could be the world champion that's been like a heavyweight wrestler by the booking. The only guy that had a shot at doing that was Miro, and he was dominant TNT champion. But then they just had him lose the title to Sammy Guevara just out of nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
And then he just went down the tubes after that. And it was like that. I'm not saying Miro necessarily had to be the AEW world champion, but after that TNT title program he had, he should have been like someone that's a legit threat.
He should have been elevated.
Should have been elevated. Like, and that's where, like, and the TNT title has been a failure because there has not been one single person that has won that title that's gotten elevated to a serious contender for the world title. And not like you, every single one. So who's been the TNT champions? I think first TNT champion was actually Cody. Cody was, and it was like Cody was just winning that belt, so he wouldn't be challenging for the world title.
Right.
And then you had Darby. And
yeah.
he might be a future legit contender for the world title, but he's not there yet. No. You had Miro. You had Sammy Scorpio Sky. Then you had the Powerhouse Hobbses, the Warlords, like Luchasaurus. Now, like nobody that won that title has been like considered like a real contender for the world title.
People will argue Sammy Guevara because he wasn't that four-way. And he wasn't
no legit. He wasn't going to win that match. We know he wasn't going to win that match.
I agree, but then they could argue that he's been in a lot of main event programs with Chris Jericho, like Blood and Guts and that sort of stuff.
Man, he's sidekick.
It's a stretch. It's a stretch. I'm just saying they could make those arguments. I'm not agreeing with it.
But like you look at like right now, WWE, they're obviously with how they're booking Gunther.
Oh yeah,
they're booking him as like with the Intercontinental title, as him as a guy that eventually could be a legit world title type of guy.
Yeah,
he's going to be a front runner for a Royal Rumble winner.
Yeah, and he's giving legitimacy back to the Intercontinental Championship, which was a hot potato at one point.
Even like a couple of years ago, Bobby Lashley, they put the U.S. title on him, and then when he dropped it, he won the world title.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like that's what the mid-card titles were supposed to do. Now you got some guys that are just mid-card wrestlers, and that's fine. If that's what you are, that's what you are. But if you got a guy that could be main event potential, if he is a mid-card title holder, that mid-card title is supposed to be a stepping stone to eventually becoming a world championship type of guy.
Absolutely.
And then so a guy like Wardlow, who was on fire, now he has to build himself all the way back up. It's like the program that he had with MJF. Is he the last person to pin MJF?
He might be.
And he pinned him in dominant fashion.
Bro, yeah.
He just went in there and just power bombed him the shit out of him like 10 times and beat him in like 3 fucking minutes.
Yep. And then MJF left.
Yeah.
So I think he's the last one to pin him.
And it's like he should have been a made man after that, bro. Like most people don't even remember that moment anymore.
No. That was last year's Double or Nothing.
Yeah, last year.
And in a year's time, he went from that to what was this year, him defending against Christian Cage.
Yeah.
That's what he did.
Yep.
That's what you've done for him in a year's time. He's still at TNT level.
Yeah.
He's not elevated. But MJF is your main champion. So the guy that lost is elevated, but the guy that won in dominant fashion not only did he just kind of tread water, he's gone down because he's not even the champ. He lost the championship twice, and he's not nearly as over as he used to be.
Yeah.
So it's what they've done to Wardlow is a crime.
Yeah. The Tony Khan booking.
Inconsistent. Like there are some guys that are always going to get consistent booking. The Elite always going to get consistent booking. Mm-hmm. Chris Jericho is always going to get whatever he wants booking wise. Like MJF, he's had consistent booking. Moxley, but like anybody outside of like those guys, man, it could be up in the air, man. What you get.
Yep, that's true. I mean,
like look what they done to Ricky Starks. They cooled him off, man.
Shame.
They cooled him off bad.
You got it was one of the best promos. So like it's like Tony Khan was like listening to an audiobook during that promo.
They cooled him off. They cooled off Eddie Kingston. But Eddie Kingston is now the New Japan champion because he can't win in AEW. Oh wait, Eddie Kingston challenged for the title.
The ROH?
No, he challenged. Remember, didn't he lose to Moxley?
Yeah, that was a while back though.
We were just talking about heavyweights that challenge. He was one.
Yeah, he was one.
Yeah. So
that was the pandemic era.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, he did. So I knew I was forgetting somebody. That's why I told you I was forgetting somebody.
Yeah. I just thought about it.
The pandemic though, so no shame in that.
So I mean, it's just I don't know, man. We'll see what All In and All Out look like.
Yeah. Like if I had to guess a couple of matches, I think we're going to get CM Punk, Adam Cole. I think we're going to get. Yeah, I'm talking about what I want to see.
Your booking's already better than Tony Khan's, so yeah.
What I want to see, I'm thinking about what I want to see, not what's going to happen. So MJF, Adam Cole. I think if Jamie Hayter's healthy, they're going to definitely do her
and Tony Storm.
Yeah, the UK talent for sure.
Yeah, so they're going to do that. Definitely. For sure, so those are the matches that we're definitely going to see for sure. They're going to definitely do Sting and Chris Jericho.
Yeah, I think they're going to go with that, and that's not going to be good. Oh God,
they're going to do that, and then I'm trying to think, is there an obvious match I'm not thinking about? Oh yeah, Kenny Omega and Ospreay. Yeah, and those are only matches that I know for sure that I feel like they're going to definitely do. anything else that's up in the air after that.
It's up in the air because it's like you can't do everything there because you got to leave some for All Out in Chicago the next week. So is it going to be like when they do this? Is it going to be like
I look like Jack gone.
roster pay-per-views? Is All In going to be an Elite pay-per-view and All Out going to be a Collision pay-per-view? I don't know. So, because I mean, if you're in Chicago, you're going to have to do Punk. Are you going to run Punk in Chicago and Wembley? Are you going to have MJF defend twice? MJF barely defends the title now. He's going to defend in Wembley and in Chicago?
Man, they booked themselves into a corner there, man.
Yeah. So I don't.
Is it going to be great or is it going to be a mess? AEW to the point where I think their show's either good or they're either really good or they're really bad.
Yeah, that's how it's gotten.
It's not like any in between. It's not like any. So like you're either gonna give them a B or A, or you're just gonna give them like a D or a fucking F or something.
Yeah, it's bad.
Yeah. So I can't give full thoughts on what I think AEW is gonna do because we haven't fully got anything announced.
Yeah, and that's the thing. They're a little over a month out and they haven't announced anything at all, which is, I mean, the good thing is their fans don't care.
Oh no,
they just want to see the matches, so they can get away with not announcing anything and it'll work out for them. But I don't know how long that theory is going to last for them. Like eventually, at some point, that's going to come back to bite them, and I think it's starting to hurt them now, where they're just you can't do these surprise cards. You can't do these surprise cards and expect people to continue. So, I don't know. We'll see what they do. I want them to succeed, but
if they do some things that do get you excited, and they do some things that I'll tell you the difference between AEW and WWE. Like when AEW has bad shows, you at least know that they're trying. It's just some of them are just amateurs, and it's like.
Yeah.
Like they just don't know what they're doing sometimes, but it's not because of lack of effort. Whereas when WWE has bad shows, it's just they're fucking lazy.
Yeah, that's the truth.
They just do some lazy booking because when WWE actually wants to put on a good show, they're going to put on a good show because they're professional. They got everything buttoned up. So when WWE actually tries, their stuff. It's usually better than AEW's. I'm just being honest.
It is.
When they actually are putting in that effort. Yeah, but
let's see the extreme.
I'll say this: the WWE's been on a roll on the premium live events. They have not one bad premium live event this year.
I agree. It's been like that for going back since before WrestleMania.
Yeah. So now I'm not necessarily saying that all their premium live events are like must see, you gotta see.
Right, but they're not bad.
They're not bad. Like they're
not bad like they were a few years
ago. I was talking about AEW where you got either good or bad. Like what was the AEW pay-per-view that had Bryan Danielson and MJF?
That was a Dynamite, wasn't it?
No, it was the AEW pay-per-view. Was it Full Gear?
Are you talking about the
Iron Man match? Was that Full Gear?
I think it was Full Gear. It had to be Full Gear.
Yeah, I remember that. That show was actually a good show. Like if I could, let me just try to look up the complete. It was a couple of matches on there. that were.
Yeah, because I think Danielson got hurt in that, and he was out for a minute.
No, it wasn't full gear. What was the damn? Was it Revolution?
Was it Revolution?
I'm trying to think. What's their first pay-per-view? Yeah, it was a Revolution. So I'm trying to.
Yep, it was Revolution. All right, I got the card here.
Yeah. So
Mark Briscoe and the Lucha. Well, that was the pre-show. Nobody cares. Ricky Starks defeated Chris Jericho in that. Jungle Boy beat Christian Cage. The House of Black beat the Elite for the triple title thing. Jamie Hayter beats Jamie Hayter and Britt Baker beat Saraya and Ruby Soho.
Yeah, that was actually good. That was a good match. He had the Texas Death Match with Moxie and Hangman was actually pretty. It was like one of the Moxie bullshit matches that actually was good.
It was a better match, but I still didn't like it. But that's just me.
But I actually enjoyed the Jungle Boy and Christian Cage. I remember that match. Ricky Starks and Chris Jericho was one of the Jericho matches I could actually.
Yeah, that was a good match.
So yeah, like there wasn't anything like everything on this card wasn't like great, but there wasn't nothing like just bad on the card. Like
that women's triple threat wasn't good.
But it wasn't like.
But it wasn't egregiously bad.
Yeah, like some of the stuff that you saw there, but that Iron Man match definitely saved the show.
Wardlow and Samoa Joe was. That was the one where Wardlow won, so that was fine.
Yeah,
that was fine. Yeah, because the previous pay-per-view was when they had the triple.
So,
that was a good show. That was a good show, and they've been on a downtrend ever since.
Yeah. So they WWE they haven't like had anything that's been bad on the premium live events. So I like you look at SummerSlam this year. I think the SummerSlam shaping up to be a pretty good card.
Very good.
I'm looking forward to seeing Roman Reigns and Jey Uso.
Yep.
That's a match. I think Bianca, Asuka, and Charlotte could potentially be like a match that could steal the show as long as they keep more interactions between Bianca and Charlotte and less between Bianca and Asuka, like you said.
Agreed. I agree.
That could be a good match. I'm interested. Brock, you're going to have Brock versus Cody in some sort of match.
That should be
third time, man.
Yeah. Even though I'm not the biggest Ricochet fan, you know him and Logan Paul are going to do some type of crazy ass shit. It's going to be at least fun to watch.
Mm-hmm.
They're at least
it'll be a fun car crash.
Yeah, fun car crash.
And Logan Paul's impressed thus far.
Oh yeah, definitely. And I'm trying to think what's the other match that I think is gonna happen.
We'll probably get Becky and Trish again.
Yeah.
We'll probably get Becky and Trish
I don't have a problem with that. Cause I like their first match they had, so don't have a problem with that.
We're going to get a Seth Rollins match. I don't know who he'll be going against.
Maybe it might be Demon Finn Balor.
Maybe Demon Finn Balor. That's possible. If
Yeah.
they continue that feud, I can see that.
I'm trying to think though. The only thing I'm not looking forward to is whatever Austin Theory match it is.
I think it might be Sheamus.
Yeah, it might be Sheamus. Me personally, I love seeing him going against LA Knight. LA Knight win their U.S. title.
Who's going to be Sheamus? Gunther and Drew McIntyre is definitely going to happen.
Yes, that's gonna be a show stealer. That might end up being the best match on the card, man.
Yeah.
Like they're gonna have some good matches on that card, man.
Yeah, that's going to be a tough card.
A lot of possibilities. Like I have a crazy feeling that Bayley's going to join Becky against Trish and Zoe. It's just a thought. Like, what if they could do that? Because Damage Control at this point is probably dead. So
Damage
Control is going to break up, but I think Io's going to be the one who turns face. Shayna and Ronda. That's gonna be a match.
I wonder who they're gonna have Rhea Ripley defending her title against, though.
Well, they had the EO like teaser Raw, but it's like,
No, she's not gonna cash in.
no.
I don't think she's gonna cash in during that. Who would Rhea fight?
Rhea, she's at that point, man.
Rhea's on Raw?
Yeah, she's at the point she don't have much competition, man.
Yeah, there's nobody really on Raw.
Only until Raquel wins like the Royal Rumble. That's like the only legit like down the line thing.
I hope they don't do her Raquel like too soon or something, man. Like try to.
Yeah, I mean they
And
could put
Raquel
her
is
around,
somebody
but I
just-
don't think that's
Raquel is just somebody for her to beat or something.
Yeah, they're just feeding her people to squash right now. I don't even know what women are on the Raw roster aside from Becky and Natalia, who she keeps squashing.
Yeah, man, they haven't done the best job with the women's division.
Yeah, I don't know. Is Damage Control on SmackDown or Raw?
They're on SmackDown.
On SmackDown. Yeah, I have no idea who Rhea's going to defend against.
Yeah, that makes Io and Asuka on the same brand.
Yeah. So they're going to defend. She's going to defend against somebody. But SummerSlam is going to shape up to be a good card.
Yeah.
Does Roman retain at SummerSlam?
I think he does.
Yeah, I think they're going to build with Cody. But I wish it was Jay for WrestleMania.
The story they're going to tell is that Cody in one of the promos said, man, your empire is going to crumble behind you and it's only going to be you.
Mm-hmm.
And the story was Roman needed the family to beat Cody. So
Right.
when they go against each other the second time, he's not going to have the backup. It's just going to be him by himself. And then that's how Cody could beat him. Because now it's mano a mano, who's the better man between us. Now you don't have this backup to help you out.
Is Cody going to win the Royal Rumble again to face him?
I got a theory that this is what WWE should have did. This goes all the way because this goes all the way back to when Chris Benoit. You remember when he won the Royal Rumble and then he came over to Raw?
Yeah.
This is something WWE should have did back then. That they could do this now. And hey, WWE can steal his idea. I don't care. If somebody wins the Royal Rumble and goes to another show, there should be a quote unquote, that's why I'm doing quotations.
Mm-hmm.
Since I'm losing a star from my show, there should be a random drawing for like a guy from your show that you got to replace. Like, since I'm losing a guy from my show, you got to give me somebody.
That's interesting.
And then just do a random drawing, and then that's how you do it. That's why, so for example, let's say LA Knight won the Royal Rumble, and he went over to Raw and challenged for the Raw title.
Right.
He's officially on Raw now. Let's say you have a random drawing now out of all the Raw superstars, because you got to replace LA Knight.
Mm-hmm.
And the random drawing ends up being Cody going over to SmackDown. And that's how you can continue that story. Cody doesn't have to necessarily win the Royal Rumble. He can win the number one contender on SmackDown and challenge for Roman that way. And that's a creative way that you could get Cody on SmackDown.
What I would do, and I gave this a lot of thought, is they always do the Elimination Chamber before WrestleMania to decide who won the challenge. Whoever did the Royal Rumble.
They have people from both brands.
Yeah. So what I would do is I would have everybody that Roman defeated have qualifying matches, and then the winners of the qualifying match go into the Elimination Chamber. So, I mean, he's defended against what? He's going to be Jey Uso,
Sami Zayn,
McIntyre, Braun Strowman, Bray Wyatt, Brock Lesnar, Cody, Matt Riddle, Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, all these guys, it's going to even out to about 12, 14 guys.
Yeah.
You put them all in qualifying matches, you win, you're in the Elimination Chamber. You do the Elimination Chamber, Cody wins the Elimination Chamber, he goes on to face Roman. That's what I would do. You got a lot of different stories that you can go on with there.
What about you, Jack? You got an idea? Or you just got Cody winning the Royal Rumble again?
Yeah, that's the thing because of Jay, they're doing that for SummerSlam. And if Jay wins against Roman, that'll be interesting as heck. That'll be interesting as heck because all those scenarios, all those guys that Roman defeated, you want to bring them back? I don't know. Even Brock, it's like, Then Brock was the previous champion before, though.
They got a stipulation: Brock can't challenge Roman for the title while he's champion.
Okay, ultimately, if Jay wins, let's just have a crazy curveball right there. If Jay wins, well, what happened? Who knows? Roman will take a break and then he'll come back and win it again. I don't know, but
I wonder if they wanted to keep Damian Priest here. What if Jay would have won the title and Damian Priest just cashed in right away?
There you go.
And you had the guy that Roman had the belt for damn near 3 years, and the guy that finally beats him just loses the title, just like that.
Yeah, I know. That'd be a corner spot, unfortunately.
See, what I would do with Priest is I would do what they did in the lead up to WrestleMania 32. And since Seth Rollins is such a fighting champion, have him defend his belt in the Royal Rumble. And then I'd have him win. And after he wins, I'd have Damian Priest cash in.
That'll be interesting.
That's your WrestleMania match between Damian Priest and Seth Rollins with Priest as a champion.
Yeah, I even like cash-ins, just a starter match. Why not have that at least?
That's what I would do. Because we've never seen somebody cash in after the Royal Rumble. And technically, it would be a title match since he defended the title in the Royal Rumble. So it's like, hey, look, I'm going to cash this in now. Let's do it.
I'm trying to think. Like, we got the cash in. I think as far as like a normal match for a cash in, I think we've only had 2 of them. I think John Cena had a normal match, and
RVD.
RVD had the best one with ECW One Night Stand.
Mm-hmm.
That was one of the craziest crowds I've ever seen at a wrestling.
Yeah, one of the few DVDs I owned of wrestling pay-per-views.
It was so crazy, man. It was this one guy, man. It was a bald head black dude. John Cena threw his shirt in the crowd. Dude grabbed the shirt, wiped his fucking ass with it, put it back in the crowd, picked off John Cena.
Yeah, I remember that. That's funny.
Like, because he was throwing his shirt in the crowd, and the motherfucker was throwing that motherfucker back. Bro.
I was at that Dynamite when Cody was throwing his belt in the crowd, and the crowd.
Oh, yeah.
I remember back then, man, like we felt John Cena was so hated. We said that I mean, my boy was like, John Cena gonna be the only guy ever at his Hall of Fame induction that gets booed out of the arena. I was wrong about that now.
No, he's turned. I mean, he's not there every week anymore.
Not
the guy that, he's not Super Cena anymore.
He's not Super Cena anymore. And they see some of these guys that came after him now. They're like, oh shit, man.
We appreciate him.
It's like, oh shit. So like, damn, we got guys and they ain't got no fucking charisma, no character. All they can do is work in the ring. And then the thing about, let me ask, because this is the thing, people talk about great matches. It's more about having great moments than great matches, because
agreed.
Think about any great match you've seen. Can you quote? Can you remember every move for move in that entire great match?
Nope.
Hell no, man. But you can remember the great moments that happened in that match, like when Stone Cold against Bret Hart. you think of that moment when he had him in a sharpshooter and his head was bleeding. The match was great, but it was about the moments in that match, man. Or you think about that stuff, or just recently with the MJF Bryan Danielson, when he had him in his submission hold, man. He had him in that, and then the fire extinguisher spot. How he won that match, just the dirty, underhanded type of stuff he did to win that match. It's about those moments.
We remember moments. We remember the Edge spear to Jeff Hardy. We remember.
I say this, like, wasn't the greatest match ever, but when Goldberg beat Hogan for the belt, you saw that crowd erupted when.
Absolutely. We saw that Hogan and Rock at 18.
Yeah.
They didn't have to do a darn thing, and it was over. Like, that's going to be a match that sticks in everybody's head.
We think about like Austin versus Rock at WrestleMania 17, one of the greatest WrestleMania main events ever. What do you think about? You think about him shaking Vince McMahon's hand at the end. We was like, I remember watching it because we used to know how to pilfer the pay-per-views and stuff.
Oh, see, we had one of the black boxes, so we had.
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh, so yeah, we was in that same boat. Yeah.
So I was watching that live, and you saw Austin with Vince McMahon shaking hands. You was like, what the fuck?
Yeah. And man, that was crazy. One of the best WrestleManias of all time too.
It was definitely my favorite WrestleMania ever.
Yeah.
I like that one, between that one and WrestleMania 19. Those are my two favorites.
Yeah, 19 is great. They had a really good run.
The only thing I hate, the reason I'll put 17 ahead is because the Triple H bitch ass wouldn't lose to Booker T. So
yeah.
He would not lose to Booker T.
That was Booker's.
Win here.
That was Booker's like highest ceiling too. That's such a shame.
Yeah, Booker T should have won that match, especially if you saw how the lead up to that stuff was.
It was it had racial overtones.
Yeah, and if you're gonna book like that, you gotta have the underdog hero win the match.
Yeah. It did absolutely nothing for Triple H to win that match.
No.
It did nothing for him, but it killed Booker T's momentum.
Oh, yeah.
It killed his momentum. And then he had to go comedy with the King Booker thing. He would have gotten over as a serious wrestler had he won that match against Triple H.
They'd be still talking about it to this day, man.
Yeah. But instead, we get King Booker, and then he gets mad against
and people talk about Triple H. Nobody talks about Triple H beating Booker T and stuff instead of just being, unless it's a negative light. We don't talk about it in a positive light because he didn't need it. Nothing. Didn't do anything for his career at all.
Yeah, that was the political angling of Triple H. Son-in-law.
Triple H. Did you ever see that? It was LV54 reviewing a pay-per-view. Was it WrestleMania? And he went off on Triple H, man. He went off on a rant on Triple H. He was like this. He was like this overrated motherfucker. He said this motherfucker acting like he's Austin, he's Rock, he's Cedar, he's one of these stuff.
He's not. He wants to be. He never will be.
He thinks he was that guy. He wasn't that guy, bro. Like if you go back and like in the Attitude Era, they had the great ratings, right? When Triple H and he had the Evolution, the ratings were going down the toilet, bro. And then like if you look at the ratings from when John Cena was the champ versus Triple H, it's like John Cena was drawing like 1 million more fans. tuning into Monday Night Raw versus Triple H. Like Triple H was getting like 3.2 million, 3.3, and John Cena was getting like in the 4 millions, bro.
Yeah.
Like it was like
Wasn't even close.
wasn't even fucking close, bro.
Wasn't even close.
Wasn't even fucking close, man.
Triple H wanted to be that guy, man. He always wanted to be that guy.
When Triple H was the champion, SmackDown was beating him in the ratings, and SmackDown was taped.
Yeah.
SmackDown was killing him.
Beating them in the ratings, and it was taped.
Killing him.
And that was when Triple H was damn champ, man. Like Jim Cornette said, man, Triple H, he's not the guy that makes the money. He's the guy that works with the guy that makes the money.
Mm-hmm. That's how he is. That's his best role. And Triple H was never. He always wanted to do these dramatic, epic storytelling matches, and not all of the matches call for that. Like that WrestleMania 32 match with him and Roman, it did not call for that kind of match. That should have just been Raw.
Yeah.
That should have been a fight, and it wasn't. And it just made it just like, what are you doing? This is uncalled for. I know what you want to do, but that's not what this match calls for.
Shit, Roman doing that style way better than him right now.
Right. Absolutely. Doing it way better than him.
Yeah, like that's what Roman is doing right now is what Triple H wishes he could do.
Especially with DX, yeah.
I know Triple H low key, he was like, man, I wish I was as good as Roman.
Most of them.
But no, but the thing is, Roman is what Triple H wishes he was, though.
Yeah. Yeah. Because Roman can tell the stories, but he can still provide the sizzle.
Yeah.
Still excitement in his matches. In Triple H's matches, there was this story that built up. And it's like, okay, cool. You're doing a great job building this story. And okay, good. It's technically well done. But it's boring. It's boring. So I don't know, man. He had those WrestleMania matches, and it's just like every year he's coming out with these matches, and I'm just like, oh boy, who's he gonna deal with this time? And sometimes he'll give you a good one, and sometimes he'll be ridiculous. I thought his match at 30 with Daniel Bryan was fine.
Don't get me started on his match with Sting, man.
And then the Sting match happens.
Oh.
And then the Roman match happens. And it's just like, oh, why? It's just like, stop doing this. You're not the Undertaker. Triple H.
Yeah.
Triple H. WWE savior. But I mean, in his defense, WWE has been on a pretty strong uptick since he's taken over.
Yeah.
So
he got strengths and weaknesses though, but he definitely is better. Like I wish if you could combine him and Vince's best stuff together, you have a much better show.
Yeah. Way too many way too much gaga in the matches. Not enough just clean wins. All the wins are tainted in some way, or disqualification, or ref bump. And it's just like, we shouldn't have to do this all the time.
One thing that AEW has done better than WWE is having those time limits in there.
Yeah, the time limits are great because it gives you another out.
Yeah.
It gives you another out.
I could do without that win-loss bullshit though.
They don't care about the win-loss. They haven't cared about that for a long time. They
haven't because if they did, how the hell Jay Cargill didn't get no shot at the title?
It doesn't make sense.
How somebody undefeated that long and they don't get not one? Like they literally created a whole title for her so she doesn't challenge for the world.
It doesn't make any sense. They know it.
Because ever since when she lost that title now, do anybody even care about that title right now?
No. And Chris Statlander is better now that she dropped the whole alien gimmick thing, but nobody cares.
Oh, fucking care. She got the initial pop, and now it's like
she got the return pop, like the surprise pop, because Tony Khan has to have a surprise return or debut at every pay-per-view. So I mean, she came back. She had the surprise.
Hey, so how many AEW shows have you been to?
Well, only the 2, right?
I've been to a few of them.
I've been to 2 AEW shows, and I don't know if he does this at every AEW show, but it was like at certain points, Tony Khan kept coming out and it was like, "We got an awesome show tonight, man!" And
yeah,
did he do that at the shows you were at too?
He does that.
Oh my god, that guy's too fucking mark, bro. Like,
he does that.
So he must do that crap at every fucking show then.
He always comes out in the beginning and says, "We got a great show for you guys," blah, 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 blah. He'll come out at the end for sure and do another hype package, especially since it's Chicago. And he's from not Chicago, but Illinois. So he's extra geeked up.
He on some good drugs, man.
He's on that good cushion alcohol. Yeah, I just his stuff is just kind of fun. He runs Chicago so many times.
Yeah, he's overdone it.
It's so many. It's been ran so many times that I'm just like, I just don't feel it. Before I'm like, okay, I know I'm going to get All Out. I know I might get another pay-per-view. I know I'm going to get the Dynamite around Thanksgiving. But there's certain ones that I know, and now it's just like, anytime he needs a big pop, he's going to Chicago. So, luckily, Chicago's a big town. We show up for our wrestling events, so they're going to keep showing up for them. But I'm not. I'm thinking that.
I'm watching. I don't mean to get off wrestling. I'm watching NBA. I think this year's NBA rookie is going to be a really good rookie of the year race.
Really?
That's all NBA.
Between who?
Because a lot of people forget Chet Holmgren is actually eligible to win Rookie of the Year this year.
Yeah, because there's hurt. That's why I think Oklahoma City is going to be, the future rival for Spurs.
Oklahoma City's going to be good this year.
He's going to get so many fucking easy looks because of Shea.
Yeah.
This guy's going to get like 3 dunks a game just because Shea's going to just give him like wide open looks. Like, I wouldn't be shocked if OKC won like 50 games this year.
They should. I mean, last year they had a problem because they just didn't have enough guys with size down low. So they would pause. So they would get killed on the boards. People would just cut into the lane and get whatever they want. Like with Chet there.
Yeah, this guy is a shot blocker though, man.
He's a shot blocker. And he grabbed boards, so they're gonna fix that up.
Yeah, I could see him being like a rookie year, 18-10 type of dude. Mm-hmm. So I like that might be like I would say if they get a rookie of the year to like whoever was gonna have just the best numbers, I think Scoop would win it. Because I think Scoop just gonna fucking have just a fucking green light like crazy. And Portland, they trade Damian Lillard.
Yeah, or they officially did.
No, not yet.
I said once they do. He's gonna be able to get like 20 shots a game. Wembayama, we'll see what his numbers. I don't.
Was Giannis a rookie year?
No.
Was Giannis a rookie of year?
No.
Yeah, it would be similar. Wow.
Yeah, I think I think because he plays for the Spurs, it'd be hard for him because Popovich ain't just gonna just
Go wild.
wild crazy how many minutes he gives him and stuff like that. He's gonna make sure he gets it. Like some of these other guys might get like 35, 36 minutes. He might be at like 30 minutes a night.
Got to protect the investment.
Yeah. So if he does something crazy like 20 and 10, we'll see though. I think it's gonna either be a Chet or Scoot, personally. But we'll see. Wembyama could be third, and then I'll put Brandon Miller fourth. As far as like my rookie of the year is I'm gonna go Chet number 1, Scoot 2, Wembyama 3, and then 4 would be who did I say? Brandon Miller.
I can see that. I can see that.
Okay, I just think Oklahoma City gonna win a lot of games, and if Chet's putting up like 18 and 10, 18 11, getting like two and a half blocks a game.
They're going to win a lot of games. They were already winning last year. They still need a little more. But, I mean, with Chet, they're good. And they got enough talent and assets to where if they wanted to find that veteran to help put them over the top, they could.
I like us getting that first round pick, getting Reggie Bullock. Man, we needed some 3-point shooting, man.
Yeah, I mean that was a great pickup for the Spurs. Great pickup for the Spurs. Bullock, you know what he's going to do. He's going to go in there. He's going to hit threes. He's going to try to defend a little bit, and you get an extra first round pick just for facilitating. I think you win.
Yeah, but they said they saying, man, we trying to get part of a 3-team trade, like try to get Tyler Hero. Like we could get Tyler Hero. Man, if we get that, man, I'm a happy Spurs fan.
That could happen because there's no reason for Hero to go to Portland because you got Scoot, you got Shaden Sharp, you got Anthony Simons. There's no reason for him to go to Portland. So he would need to be rerouted to a third team, and that team would have to send a pick to Portland on behalf of the Heat. So,
and then we got the cap room
to absorb the contract. Yeah, so I would like to see that, man. Hero's a nice young player. Hero's a nice young player, and that contract, I mean, it's not going to be bad by the end of it.
No.
So he's 4 years, 120 or something. That's not terrible. That's moving.
And then Hero can actually play point guard too.
Yeah, they've pretty much been developing him as a point guard in Miami.
So that you could put Trey Jones back where he belongs
on the bench.
I don't dislike Trey Jones. I just he's just not a starting point guard.
No, he's not a starter. He's fine on the bench.
Yeah. But we'll see. Like they're trying to say, oh, Spurs could be a wild card team for Damian Lillard. I'm like, nah, that's not. He wants to go to a team that actually has a chance.
Yeah, they say he respects the Spurs or whatever, and I'm sure he does, but I don't.
I want to see what Devin Vassell could do in his 4th year, man. I think he could be really good, man.
I like him a lot.
Yeah, that's why I don't want to like some of these trade packages they're trying to like.
No, I think you got to keep him.
Yeah,
he's going to be a good 3-and-D dude. No, I keep them so for sure. I have faith in their Spurs, man. I have faith in it.
Yeah, man, we got so much draft lottery left, man. How you get 3 big? You get David Robinson, Tim Duncan, that woman, man. How do you get like 3 bigs that we don't know what Wembyama is gonna do? Hopefully he lives up the hype, but you got 3 guys that when Robinson came out, they were talking about he was gonna be the top bigs ever. He ended up being one of the top bigs ever.
Yep.
Tim Dunn came out and said the same thing, and it happened. And then you got one. That's just crazy to get to have that kind of luck.
It is. It is. He has them as mentors too. So yeah, he's got a good foundation around him, man.
But like the thing about the Spurs is we don't take like the Spurs got like one of the best like winning percentages ever.
Yes.
History of the league. Like the Spurs only have a losing record against one team in the NBA, and that's the Lakers. And like our record against the Lakers is like 92 and 93. So like they're one game ahead of us as far as like all time. But every other team, the Spurs got to win a record against in the NBA.
And you're going to surpass them soon.
Yeah,
you're going to surpass them soon because after this year, LeBron's out of LA. Whenever Bronny's coming to the NBA, LeBron's gone. So once LeBron leaves, the Lakers are in trouble.
And then they're talking about like Anthony Davis. They got to make a decision. He can get a contract of 3 years, $167 million. Woo!
Good luck.
Man, Anthony Davis is one of those interesting players, man. Talent-wise, talent is there, but it's like, can you ever say, like, definitively, like he might have had individual seasons, but like consistently, Anthony Davis is like a top 5 player in the league. I don't think he can.
No.
But the crazy thing is, he has the talent to be that though.
He has the talent, and he'll show it sparingly.
Like,
it would hurt.
I know people, you can call me crazy. I'm not saying who's better. I'm just saying like talent-wise, he's more talented than Joel Embiid.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
But he's not the player Joel Embiid is. Because he just does, it's just something missing. It's just like something missing with Anthony Davis.
He doesn't have a motor.
No.
He doesn't have a motor.
He ain't a dog, man.
No, he ain't got it in him.
Yeah.
He ain't got it in him, man, and he's fragile. And I think he's a little mentally weak too. So I don't know, man. It's a shame because he is a talent. He has all the talent in the world, and he'll give you a crazy game where he's 35, 15, 5.
And it's like, and then what's so crazy is it's like guys that have came in the league after him that are better than him, like Embiid, Giannis, Tatum, Jokic. Like these are guys that have come into the league after him that have surpassed him.
Yeah.
And it's not even like okay, he's up there. Well, it's like these guys are definitely better than him. Like it's not even like a debate. Like these guys are definitely like surpassing.
I agree. It's not even close. Not even close. You just gotta eat that. Are you cool with getting 45, 50 games of Anthony Davis? And of that 45, 50, you might get the full potential Anthony Davis maybe half of the time.
Yeah.
Is it worth it? I don't know.
I ain't gonna necessarily say they shouldn't pay him, but I ain't gonna necessarily say they should either. It's like those other guys that I mentioned, they ain't gonna think about it. They're gonna give them that money. Shit.
No, they're gonna have to pay him and trade him. Because once LeBron goes, they're not gonna stick around with Anthony Davis. They're gonna get rid of him.
Man.
LeBron ain't staying when Bronny comes. Once Bronny hits the league, LeBron is gone. LA is done. So we'll see what happens, man.
Hey, LA, they always can pull some shit out of the rabbit out the hat, man.
Yeah, they always do. They always do. What happened? But they're gonna figure something out.
Oh, man, it's almost 11 o'clock. It's almost time to probably wrap this thing up in a minute.
Yeah.
Jack going too, so.
Yeah, Jack dipped on us. But it was fun. We did what, about 3.5 hours here?
Yeah, man, it was definitely fun. I'm looking forward to some of the shows. I want AEW. I wanted them to succeed. I just certain things here and there that I definitely just want them to improve on.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
I wish they would just be able to do other things than just trying to appeal to one side of the coin. But
Right. I mean, it's as we said before, they kind of, at this point, in the words of Denny Green, they are who they are. They are who we thought they were. They haven't really changed up. Who they are is who they are.
yeah,
So we'll see. Collision is a bit of a breath of fresh air.
yeah,
You'll see if they continue that or if they start to integrate some more of that dynamite, aha type stuff. I hope not, but if they do, I mean, I don't know. They're definitely going to want to pop a rating because they don't want to see this Saturday show in the tubes. So we'll see what they do to kind of pop ratings because Tony Khan is good for that. We need to do something. Let me throw out this big dream match just because I want to pop a rating. Pop the rating and go back to what they were doing. So I hope they figure out some consistency. And it's sad, man, because to me, from what I've seen on Collision thus far, Collision's the better show.
oh yeah,
It's not in a good time spot, so it's not gonna win. It's not gonna win. It didn't even draw as much as the first Rampage that Punk was on. So that should tell you a lot. That should tell you a lot. This Rampage stinks.
man, who you tell?
Rampage is unwatchable. So we'll see what they do, man. As things get closer, man, we'll see what they do all in and all out. And I'm sure we'll circle back and do this again once all of that stuff is done. We're leading up to what are in the fall? We got Full Gear in the fall.
Yeah.
Around November. WWE will have the Survivor Series at that point. So we'll see what's going on in the after all this and how things go. And y'all will see us again.
All right, peace out, man.
Peace out. We're gonna do it again.